Oh my. Right.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good. It's another cold one here, though. Still back into the deep freeze. Spring gave us some false hope maybe yesterday or on a Tuesday, and then it's been cold for the last 2 days. So, oh well, winter's not over yet. I understand we have an eclipse coming tomorrow morning, lunar eclipse early tomorrow morning. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in my very early morning walk. But anyways, other than that, hopefully we'll get some good trading in the markets today, because yesterday was a, can I say fugly? It was a fugly day for trading for the
Yeah.
most part. Some people had great days, but it was not it was not pretty, at least for me. I really didn't find, other than the I had one trade at the open, one trade at the close. That was really it. And you know what the crazy thing? The trade at the close, I screwed it up somehow. We were trading live on YouTube, and I went. It was an Nvidia trade. So
Yeah.
somehow
Yeah.
I managed to switch to another account, and I traded half in one account and half another, which means I sort of ended
Oh,
up like
man.
losing in both. You know when you do that and you end up losing on both sides? Because, anyways,
Of
oh,
course.
just
Of
like I don't
course.
even know how I did that. That's what happens when you're trying to do a live show and trade at the same time. I messed it up. But anyways,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping today's going to be better.
Yep, absolutely. Friends, quick look at our gappers list this morning brought to you by tradingterminal.com right over here. Much balanced out than what we saw the last couple of days. It's been green, then heavy to the red side, then back and forth. And today, pretty much a little bit on the green, even less on the red. So, but before we do that, let's get to our U.S. economic calendar. We do have some data here that we'd like to go over with you guys.
Yeah, now I haven't got the results updated here yet. However, so yesterday was CPI. Today is the PPI number. So PPI is the producer price index. Expectation was a 3% growth. Interestingly, the month of February reported a 0.1% contraction in produced goods, and that was for the core. The non-core was zero, like right flat at zero. Year over year number on the PPI was 3.2 versus an expected 3.4 versus 3.6 on the core, 3.2 versus an expected 3.3 on the non-core. My statement there is inaccurate. In terms of jobs, the initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims slightly lower. The initial came in at 220,000 versus the 225 expected, and the continuing jobless claims came at 1.87 versus the 1.9 million. So again, is that good or bad for the economy? It's tough to tell these days. Nobody quite knows what to think of the economy, and again, at least the economists don't, and those that are predicting, because we've got both inflationary and recessionary pressures happening at the same time, which are causing a little bit of confusion in the picture. So, which means when you get these economic events, right, are they good or bad? It doesn't. Who knows? Remember, we were joking a few months ago about, hey, is good again, right? Is a bad number? Is bad good? Anyways, right now it's tough to tell. Looking at what the market is sort of just bouncing here a little bit higher, but we are still red this morning. So let's see. So how was this week on? We were red on Monday, red on Tuesday. We started yesterday green. Today we're starting red. I mean, does it matter really? we're we'll see what happens. So, anyways, here we are. Here we are this morning, slightly red, and with economic data that the market's saying, oh, well, whatever. Let's look at what's moving on the gappers list, because we do have a couple of gappers, and we'll talk about those live earning ones that we were watching from last night, because there's a couple of them we can potentially add to our list, or at least let you know about, so you can decide whether you want to add them to your trading list for this morning.
Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, let's get to it. Start going through this gap up list this morning. We are Currently, got a couple of things in the green side, starting with CRVO. So let's start there. CRVO. We saw this yesterday too, and today is gapping up again. Now 30%, and you can see here on the daily. Yesterday had a nice day from $2.50 to $6. It's looking to be in play again today. Man, this is looking nice. 20 million shares traded. Let's take a look at how it did yesterday. Let's just go back here and go back. Man, just took off. Look at this thing. So that is really, really nice. Peter, this thing is added again. It is a low flow stock at 5.3 million shares flows. What I'm showing here. Again, looking good for a low flow stock.
Yeah, and I don't see any news on them I mean, this morning I guess they did get an upgrade, so there is that. Not from one of the large firms. This is a Chardon Capital Markets that upgraded them to a buy with a $14 price target. Actually, the reason why you saw that jump yesterday, although didn't hit our radar, was that they had announced positive top line results for a clinical study, a 2B phase study. So good news for them. Stock jumped. I mean, it's getting some volume, Carlos. I have to say, I'm a little surprised at the volume. 21 million shares traded this morning. I mean, it's definitely getting the volume. So I guess it's like it's still in play today after getting like 100 and what was yesterday's volume? 158 million shares traded. So yeah, like if you don't mind the low floats, here you go. Looks like a good candidate. It is hard to borrow, so you're not shorting this one. But if you want to take a risk to the top side, you got the volume.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, we didn't have this on our scanners yesterday, but someone did mention in chat, and we were looking at it because it was active. But yeah, if you like low floats, this is one today. I mean, we're up 30%. Hard to borrow, so you can short it, but it is obviously clearly heavily in play this morning. Let's start over to the next one here. It's going to be MGTX. So MGTX, we are. Oh, this is ugly. This is fugly, Peter. We're up 12.3 this morning, 618,000 shares traded. I don't like anything on this one. Flow is also low at 30 million. Very big difference when you have this pre-market activity with no volume compared to what we just saw on CRVO. So this won't be on my list at all. I don't like it, Peter. Anything going on even worth talking about?
Well, look, I'm just trying to figure out how this ties together here. They did announce financial results for 2024, and they had a relatively good year. But this is a biotech, so biotechs usually move on news of a study. Now, they've got a phase 3 study that they're conducting on this AAV GAD for Parkinson's disease. So basically, they've got a Parkinson's treatment. But what's interesting about this is that they've announced not results of this phase 3 study, but they announced that they've decided to partner with Hologen AI, which I've never heard of, but it doesn't matter because this Hologen Neuro AI has AI in the title, which I'm trying to figure out how that relates to their Parkinson's treatment and as a medical treatment. So, but anyways, so I guess they're going to use the AI model their AI models. Yeah, I don't know. Hologen is a world leading developer of multimodal generative AI foundation models of real world clinical data for clinical medicine and pharmaceutical drug development. A lot of words in there. Still don't understand how it works with their trial, but sounds cool. All right, it's AI. Let's go, baby. MGTX. That's why it's in play.
Yeah, it looks horrible. We'll skip on this one. Let's go to one that's has been getting tons of news. They're up today, 11.8. More news coming out last night on this thing here. And again, 8 million shares traded. Big gap up. Peter, what's the latest and greatest on our good buddy? Well, I'm not sure they're so good, but Intel this morning.
Yeah, well, they've got a new chief executive. So the CEO, a new CEO has been appointed, Lip-Bu Tan. I assume I'm saying that properly. Lip-Bu Tan, who is rejoining. He was a board member, left in August over argument, I guess, about the direction of the company, and has been brought back. to be CEO. So the company, or at least the investors, seem to like that big jump after hours when that was announced. And yeah, it's continuing to trend a little bit higher this morning. Normally, the addition of a CEO is not something that moves, especially these tech stocks, like gives you consistent price action. Yeah, I don't know, might be different in this environment, especially with Intel. Intel's in a very unique position, of course, right? Having that only onshore foundry and so much interest from industry players. We could see a turnaround in the fortunes of Intel. I'm really hoping, just from a trading perspective, it starts to be a little more popular to be an active traded stock, because I'd love to see those days come back and add Intel back into the mix. I mean, despite the conversations we've been having about it so far, it still hasn't traded all that well, like not as well as some of the other semis. So I'd love to see that get better. Maybe these catalysts continue, and this new CEO can continue to spur that momentum. We might see it back in play. So, but that's the news on Intel for this morning. I'm cheering it on. We'll see. I'll be watching cautiously from the sidelines, but I'm cheering for it.
Yeah, I actually do want them to do well here. But man, they just trade horrible. But this is a stock that I would love to see trading well, and hopefully, we can take advantage of. But they're just so bad. All right, let's see on to the next one. We got a couple of, all right, QBTS. Let's go. We got IonQ, QBTS. And I don't see any other quantum stocks. So let's start with IonQ this morning. IonQ getting a nice little pop here. 5.8 right now, 1.8 million shares traded. I mean, they've been getting just not crushed, but they've just been on a little bit of a downtrend here in the last month or so, last 30 days, right? So getting a little bit of some love this morning, as you can see here. I like the volume, like the gap up. How well it's going to trade, I'm not sure. And we also got QBTS. So it seems like some quantum news this morning. These guys are up just 5.6, 4.8 million shares traded. Nowhere near as clean as IonQ. I mean, IonQ looks really nice. So Peter, any news on quantum this morning?
Really, the only news I've got is on QBTS, which is actually a company called D-Wave, D-Wave Quantum. But they actually had earnings. So they had earnings this morning. Top line results were better than expected, delivering. Now, again, keep in mind, these are tiny numbers. $2.3 million of revenue in the quarter, right? That's what they delivered versus an expected 2.24 million. However, they lost more money than expected. They lost 37 cents a share when they were only expected to lose 9 cents a share. So that's a pretty significant increase in their loss. However, right, we're talking relatively small numbers. This is an early stage company. They're not expected to make money. They just made less. They lost more than was anticipated. That being said, again, the market is pushing them higher this morning. So because largely their outlook, their guidance was higher than expected. So they do think that there's more revenue opportunity than the market had initially anticipated. And they say they're expecting to deliver, about, wow. Wait a second. They're actually saying that they're expecting $10 million of revenue versus analyst expectations of 2.5 million for the next quarter. So okay, that's 4 times what the analysts expected. No wonder it's jumping up. Again, tiny numbers, right? Like you really just need one contract, one client, one project really to get to 10 million of revenue. So anyways, again, these numbers are so small, frankly, they're not meaningful in the big scale, but in the short term, hey, if it moves the stock, I'm all for it. But you pointed out, Carlos, it's interesting to me that IonQ, it does actually look like it's sort of trading a little bit better than QBTS. Not as much volume. QBTS has got more volume here this morning, but I think IonQ is really just a sympathy play. But trade whichever one you want. I'm gonna watch the qubits this morning just to see what it's doing. If the opening bell rings and it continues to move, then there might be a trade opportunity in there.
Absolutely. I like IonQ. QBTS I already watch every day because I have a position on this one long term and looking to add some more if we can. But IonQ, we'll add that to my secondary. I hope to find something better. It looks good. I do like the daily on it very much, actually. Pre-market starting to get some volume. No, this I actually like this. I'm gonna put this on my list. IonQ, I will put that on there, and then QBTS I'll put on the secondary because I do watch that one all the time. Anyways, QBTS. Oh, let's type that correctly. BTS. There we go. All right, perfect, friends. So that is two from our gap up list. We went through all the top ones already. There's just two more, ACHR and NN. Can't wait to see that one. I don't think I ever looked at NN. So let's take a look. ACHR, this is Archer Aviation. If you guys remember, they got that helicopter or drone type looking aircraft. This morning, up 1.7, 1.3 million shares traded. We got some activity. Something might be breaking out here, Peter. Just at 8:30, we got some volume spiked up. But we're still going with some volume, so I'm not sure what's driving this one. Anything good going on?
Yeah, they've got later today. They're going to have a signing ceremony with them and their new partner, Palantir, PLTR, and we know we love to trade in PLTR. So it's interesting that Archer is jumping in with them. Palantir and Archer are going to work together to build the AI foundation for what they're calling their future of next-gen aviation technologies. This includes air traffic control systems, includes something AIP to accelerate the scaling of their aircraft manufacturing. It's pretty aggressive to think they need to scale up their manufacturing. But remember, Archer is this company that's building the autonomous. They're basically like drone taxis. I mean, I don't know what else to call them. Like they're like giant drones that you can get in and be driven around autonomously. So again, I'm not going to be the first one in one of those, but if we start seeing them flying around, maybe we're getting closer to the Jetsons era. We'll see what that means. But the fact that they're joining with PLTR and they get to sort of put the big AI term into the mix is interesting news for them. So this might end up being in play today. Probably it's going to move Archer more than PLTR, more than Palantir, just because it's bigger news for them, being that Archer's the smaller company in this case. But yeah, they're interesting news.
Peter, it actually, I mean, they look pretty cool. I've seen them from very far.
I mean, they look cool.
Yeah, they look awesome. Yeah. After you do a couple of flights, I don't think that says something else, but it looks something more like this. But yeah, they're pretty cool, man. We'll see how it goes.
Still, they make me nervous.
You won't see Peter in one of those. All right, friends. So again, doesn't really trade well. POTR is probably not going to move too much on that, since that news is probably small for them. They got bigger contracts to try to get here. For Archer Aviation, now this one can have some activity. Maybe a secondary. I think I talked about this plenty of times, but I don't think I ever traded. At least I can't remember. If I did, it wasn't significant that I can remember. So we'll put it on here. Secondary up 1.7, 1.5. Obviously, they're the big beneficiary of this deal if it the market wants it to be. So we'll see what happens. XPEF. Let's take a look at that one. This is up this morning 2.1, 768,000 shares traded. Again, usual stuff, gapping up, and then throughout the day doesn't give us much. But XPEF has found a way to just keep going and going. I mean, this stock just beginning of the year at $11. Today they're trading at 25, as high as almost 27. Peter, anything new for XPEF?
They got an upgrade by Citigroup this morning to a buy, so that's good news for them. Other than that, I think it's just hey, look, the Robot City, man. Xpeng robots in every Chinese home. I don't know. It's remember that was the news from 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
I can only assume that it's continuing to trade on that. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. If you've watched it during the day, it actually hasn't traded all that well during the day. So it's been tough to trade these as much as they keep jumping up pre-market. I believe this is dual traded. I don't know that for sure, but I think it's also traded probably in the Chinese market. So that could be explained why it keeps jumping up early for us, because it's just catching up with the Chinese market, which would have been open for hours.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is either, but if you look at this daily, it almost looks like that's the case, right? Which how gappy it is and how small the daily intraday candles for us are. So yeah, this just doesn't look good. So I'm not inclined to have it on my list, man. It's been on a tear though on the daily as far as that goes, but I'm just not sure it's going to be a great trade. You know what? For the sake of good old times, or XPEF and Neo days, we'll put it on the secondary list. Let's see. All right, Peter, we'll stop here. That covers our gap up from tradingterminal.com. Friends, you can always head there and get this list for yourself, plus all those other scanners available to you also. Peter, anything else you like on the gap up this morning?
That's very weird. It's interesting how they target marketing, isn't it? I just called up Xpeng's website, and when I call up their website, they've got this giant ad running with their car that actually looks not bad. But the the actors here who are driving this vehicle, they're very white. It's just I wasn't expecting that.
On which car? On which car?
The Xpeng. They're
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
which one of the. I guess it's their X9 vehicle or anyways, but I just went to their website and I was just surprised by this ad and the white people they're putting at me. Anyways, all right. Sorry. Other things that I like in the market. We talked yesterday about, or over the last couple of days, about the airline sector, right? And what's happening with the airlines. I mean, they've been sort of pushed down over the last number of weeks. And then we had some sort of mixed news, right? Is it good news? Is it bad news? What's happening? Southwest Airlines, right? They were the ones that jumped up because they were adding baggage fees, but then sort of sold off thereafter. I mean, amidst a market sell-off. I just happened to notice that sector seems to be slightly green this morning. Not only the airlines themselves, but also Boeing slightly green. I don't know. I'm not sure if that will end up being interesting, but the that is just I noticed it on the green side. But other than that, yeah, a lot of red this morning, right? A lot of stuff is sort of just hanging out red. Some of it was green earlier. It looks like we're sliding down a little bit here in the early trading. So we'll see where we go.
Yeah, yep. All right, friends, let's get into our gap down list this morning. Again, not a lot here either. We're going to start with PAF, and then we were talking about this one yesterday a little bit. They're down 20%, and I think they're going to be in play today. Normally not a stock that we look at, but man, down 20%, 1.8 million shares traded. And obviously, Peter, we were on the stream yesterday live going over their earnings, and they pretty much got slammed here.
Yeah, so Path was one of the two that we were watching after hours for earnings, and yeah, they did not fare well. They got a downgrade from Bank of America this morning as a result of that. Really soft guidance. So, no matter what their earnings were, really the big news was on their forward-looking guidance, and their guidance was very low compared to what the analysts were expecting. So as a result, yeah, this thing just you could see big drop right away, and then it sort of held that at the low side through this morning. So yeah, it's not looking good for their fiscal 2026. Which will take them to about this time next year. They said that their revenue was going to be somewhere around 1.5 billion if they're lucky. Analysts were looking for about 1.8 billion. So yeah, they're sort of way off the target in terms of revenue target. So Path. I don't know, Carlos. I don't remember ever watching this, so I don't know how it trades. I've got to believe that it's the volume looks relatively low in this. I think that it's going to have to get a lot of volume today for it to sort of be one of the ones that I would watch all day.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure about this one, man. We've seen it before, and it's never made our list, but today I do like the gap down. Pre-market, it's not, it's not great. We'll have to see. We'll really have to wait for the market open and see if we do want to close this gap and start getting the volume and activity that we need. So, if anything, on a secondary, but I'm not gonna add it yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Today's could be the day where it trades well, but let's see. Let's take a look at the next one on here, friends. It's going to be S. And S this morning, we are Sentinel-1. We are down 12%. Very little volume. We've seen this ticker plenty of times in the past. It just doesn't trade very well. It doesn't get heavy volume throughout the day. And that in turn, I always do that. Shift tab. There we go. And in turn, it just doesn't give us good trading opportunities like this. Usually better stuff to look at. So I'm not inclined to have it on my list. Peter, obviously there's something's going on with them. They're down 10%. And it seems to be earnings looking at this after hours chart from last night.
Yeah, they're one of the few that I wanted to talk about here. So they had earnings after the close yesterday, not one of the ones we were looking at, but because they typically don't trade a lot of volume after hours. But their numbers were good. So they were, they had a good Q4. They beat their numbers top and bottom line. Their forecast was, it depends on what numbers you look at, right? Their forecast was in line with what they said they were going to do. It actually was roughly in line with the analyst expectations. Like, so this is interesting that they say they think they're going to do about 1.01 to 1.0, well, about 1.01 billion in revenue. The analyst sort of consensus estimate was 1.03 billion. Like we're talking like, we're talking, what is that, like 0.2% difference. So I guess they're getting punished for that because their revenue is potentially based on the analyst expectations, slightly below expectation. I don't know, like it feels like a little bit much for them to be off, what is it, about 18% in stock value because of such a minor difference of opinion as to how much money they should make in the next in the next period. Anyways, whether it's an overreaction or not, it doesn't matter, right? Market is never wrong. So the market price says, oh, so they're only off 12% now. But yeah, it's look, I'd want to see this volume pick up. This could be a decent trading stock if the volume picks up. It's a NYSE stock, so again, that volume may not happen until after the opening bell. So I'm sort of tempted to watch it, but I think, Carlos, we're probably going to have better targets just based on its average trading profile.
Yeah, I'm with you as well, man. So again, I don't like it here. Let's cover some stuff here in chat. We've been going back and forth here on YouTube. And first of all, I want to welcome Manuel Ramirez, new to the YouTube channel, man. Welcome. Glad to have you
There you
here.
go. Welcome.
And a question we have here is, what is a barcode? We would love to show you a barcode. What ticket do we have in mind, Peter? Let's look at Neo. Neo is usually really good barcode
There
type
you go.
stock.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Neo
there you
gets
go.
the job done. Look at this. That's a barcode there. And if you look at
Yeah.
Neo has 1.6 million shares traded in this pre-market, but they're all like this, right? That's a barcode. So when you see that, it's just another term for us saying chop, right? And if you probably take this to Walmart or Target and you scan, you probably get a garbage truck that comes up in the ticker. So that's what happens.
As the
All
garbage
right.
truck goes up, the little
Yep.
display screen there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome if that actually happened. I would love
Yeah,
that.
we know. I'm gonna take a picture and just scan on the price tag. I know Target has. I don't know if Walmart has them, but Target has a little price tag. I'm gonna take one day. I'll take it over there and try to scan it and see what I get. That'll be nice. That'll be fun.
I,
We'll see what happens.
when you see price action like this, basically what it means is that it's really just computers trading against computers. Because if you look at these are 1 penny candles, and if whether it's green or red, or as you can see, like it ended where it started, it really humans are not normally trading within a penny range. The fact that the stock is trading within a penny range and you just get this sort of sideways motion for multiple minutes, is a clear indication you just want to move on. You don't want to be part of that.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. All right, so far, quick recap. Out of this gappers list, we haven't had much luck. You look at my list at the bottom, we have INQ, which looks okay. QBTS is okay. And then the other two are also like less than okay. So it's been a very, uh, you know, slim pickings when it comes off this gappers list. Let's continue with the gap down. The next one's going to be two more. We'll look at VNet and HIMS, which again, we're going to go through them quickly because we've seen them before and they're also garbage, Peter. So here's VNet. I don't see anything I like. It's not going to be on my list. I'll look at some Max 7s instead, Tesla, NVIDIA, and Apple. How about Apple sell off the last couple of days? We'll see how. I have not looked at them today. We'll pull them up in a second. But I have nothing on VNet and HIMS, Peter. I'll talk about that one now too. I don't like it either. I like the daily today, though. The daily might have something going on here. We're trying to hold on to this 32 barely. The last couple of days we held on to that. Maybe today we see a drop, but I'm just not a big fan of HIMS, so I'm going to leave that alone. So, Peter, on those two, anything you have, we'll start with VNet first.
VNet has a secondary offering. Secondary, so this is basically adding more shares to their pool. That's usually not a good trading catalyst. So, yeah. like you said, garbage. We can move on from that. Hims and Hers had some interesting news. Again, I personally have. I don't know this company really, so but it's an odd name to me. Hims and Hers. Anyways, they had some bad news a little while ago about them having to get out of or they were deciding to sort of scale back on the weight loss drug. Business that they were in, because they sell sort of health products and that. Anyways, the bad news continues on Hims today. There is a product called, finasteride. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but finasteride was supposed to help with hair loss, which you can see clearly I did not take advantage of. And I'm pretty happy for that at the moment, because apparently it actually got people really sick who used it. So they didn't appropriately disclose the side effects, or weren't even aware of some of the side effects. And now there's a bunch of cases of medical illness as a result of it. And as you can imagine, the lawsuits are coming. So yeah, bad news for Hims this morning with another one of their products causing an issue. So it's it's oral. It's their pills. Anyways, finasteride pills. Anyways, it was supposed to reverse hair loss. Anyways, yeah, like a lot of these things, right? The miracle pills. There's always a side effect. You just you just don't know what it is.
You're putting chemicals into your body. Trust me, the good is gonna come, but the bad is coming right along with it. Right? It's not everything's free. I was looking at their website. I like these names, like Hims, and then I think they have Hers as well. That's a great name. It's weird that they are individual ticker. I find that weird, right? Like they should be together with like a bigger company or something, right? That does face creams and all this other kind of stuff. But yeah,
Hey,
it
click
is
on
Peter.
that regrow hair thing.
I was gonna say the same thing. I could use that. It's coming for me too, man. It's on its way
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So this is
Click,
probably
see if
something we
they
could.
sell you some finasteride, because apparently it's gonna make you sick. Oh, you gotta answer a
It's gonna
bunch of
make me go
questions.
through. We're not gonna do that. See, you just lost a customer.
Right.
Bye bye. All
See?
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
too much.
get to the
All right.
point. Too
Anyways,
much.
so
Yep.
bad news on Hims. I've tried to watch this in a number of days. Never really liked the way it trades. So it's not one of my favorite tickers to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
I don't want to
I don't
spoil
like
that
it.
with it.
We'll definitely move on from that one. Here's one that we might like. There's two that's just popping up here as we're talking. TSM, which the semis have been extremely active, and Baba came on and off there, so we'll come back to that one. But here's TSM. We're down 2.5, 508,000 shares traded at the moment. Usually not a great trader, but there are some days when they do have big news that they do trade well. And up here, and I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at this one, but this could be a good time to talk about NVIDIA and any other semis that you might like this morning.
Yeah, I mean, look, the semis yesterday was sort of the big news, right? With everybody, or TSMC, which is sort of the services arm of Taiwan Semiconductor, saying they're looking to invest in the U.S. market. In fact, we're interested in potentially running the new fab plants that Intel is. This foundry that Intel is heading, and that so many others have expressed interest in joining, including NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom, right? So the big U.S. chip group. They've all said that they want part of that foundry. It's a preventative play, and because of course there's concern over the supply out of Taiwan and how long they can continue to rely upon that. It's not a lot of news on that today. Like there's nothing new coming out, so I think other than the new CEO on Intel, so I think you can pick whichever one you want, and they're probably still going to be in play. Nvidia and AMD, as most people know, are my two go-to ones, so those are the ones I'm going to be primarily looking at. Outside of that sector, we did have a couple of earnings from last night that I wanted to mention. We do have Adobe. I don't think we've covered that yet this morning. ADBE, that was the big one that we were looking at earnings for last night. Interesting sort of move at the close. It was sort of tough to figure out, wasn't it, Carlos? Right at the close or right after the announcement at 4:05, it was up, it was down, it was back up, and then it's down again. So they actually had good numbers. They beat their numbers in quarter, and their forecast was again, slightly above analyst expectations. But like we were talking about last night, the problem is if you're in a tech sector, especially if you're doing AI or chip manufacturing, like it's not good enough to be just slightly above expectations. You have to just blow the doors off, like far exceed expectations for your stock to get support after earnings. That's what it seems like these days, anyways. So Adobe is down this morning despite really doing nothing wrong. Again, they delivered on their numbers. They even said next year's growth is going to be a little higher than analysts had anticipated, yet they're still down this morning. So I think this is going to be in play. The volume is pretty low this morning, actually surprisingly low, only 200,000 shares here. So probably why it didn't quite hit our list, because it didn't hit that volume threshold. But I'm thinking it might be in play. Now, others for earnings that are less likely to be in play, but I'll just mention. One is Dollar General. We've been watching some of the retail sector just to see what they're doing. DG is the ticker on Dollar General. They never trade, a lot of volume early on. So they've got about 400,000 shares this morning. They had earnings earlier and did beat their numbers in the quarter. So a good quarter for Dollar General. And I was actually surprised that on the guidance side, it wasn't sort of as bad as people were expecting. So their earnings, certainly their guidance was off, what analysts hoped for, but it wasn't really that bad. So we'll have to see. I mean, they've got 20,000 stores across the United States, and it's worth looking at them just to see what's the expectation is, I guess, on that. There's sort of a barometer, I guess, of economic health, especially on the value side, right? But I don't know. We'll see what the stock does. Again, not typically a great trader, but I thought I would mention it because, of course, the economy and that the retail side has been a lot more in focus. And the last one that I wanted to mention from earnings is just just because it's fun for you guys that haven't been around for a while. Hey, Carlos. F you to you.
So. F you to you, my friend. Absolutely.
There you go. So Futu Holdings. F you to you. It's just one of our fun ones to say. It had earnings this morning as well, and they had good numbers. This used to be really fun. Like, we used to love this one because it was fun to say and it was fun to trade. Unfortunately, now it's just fun to say. The trading volume fell off quite a while ago, and it's just never come back. So it's unfortunately just not that great of a trader, but still fun to say. There you go. That's what I got.
All right, awesome. Friends, let's get to you guys. I see some tickers already flying through here. I see DJT, I see Intel again. We'll look at that, and then we'll look at some other ones you guys are throwing out here. So let's take a look. Let's start with DJT. What's that up to? Oh, okay. We got a little action this morning. Up 3.6, went all the way up to 22, back down to 2080. Peters, we'll check to see if there's any news on this one. I mean, it's coming back down, so I'm not sure what's moving them. But I tell you, we've seen this stock trade even way better than this. Like, good pre-market activity, millions of shares in the pre-market. Like, if you guys remember this stretch here, this was a lot of volume right on here. And it's still the intraday, you probably got, like, out of all these days here, this is probably the best day. That's it. All right, hold on. I gotta keep getting these beeps here. How do I mute these beeps? Sorry, guys. This keeps coming.
I haven't really been hearing them. But
no, because they're coming on my headphones. It's from the chat room.
Oh, I see.
It's on these chats that happen on the alerts. How do I turn that off? I gotta figure out how to mute that. Because they're coming fast and heavy.
I don't know. I've got mine on permanent do not disturb.
You could do that.
So there's a setting in there somewhere.
I need to do that, man. They go off like, just go nuts over here. Mute on the top right. Okay. All right, I'll take care of it in a second here. Let me not slow down the show. So DJT, yeah, it's just tons of volume, but they don't trade very well. So I'm not a fan of it. I won't be watching it here because this volume is a lot less than what we see in the past, and it doesn't trade very well. So that's my reason on DJT chilled. Manuel says, if you guys come with more here next month, we know what happened. Hey, listen, man, you just got here. You can't be getting at us like that, right? You just joined. No, of course, man, no problem. Intel is up 13 point something. You know what? Given that the fact that we didn't get anything off our gappers list, like it was so bland this morning, I will add it to my list and just kind of see what's going on there. NN looks horrible. Next nav just doesn't look great. But yeah, I will add Intel on a secondary. No, I'll put it on the main list. I'll do that. It's fine. But it just doesn't trade very well, man. We've seen it be so bad at times. All right, what else you guys have this morning? DJT, we looked at Intel. We looked at checking over
Somebody
on
was asking us
our
to look at
yeah.
Redfin. Redfin
That's the
had
one I
been
was
in the
looking
news.
for. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
RDFN. I don't. I mean, I don't see it doing anything this morning. There's like no volume on it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this was Redfin was being bought out by a company called Rocket. This is a 1.75 billion-dollar all stock deal. They were doing a stock transaction. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it jumped up. It's held the gains over the last couple of days, but it feels like it's not in play anymore. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think it's.
It doesn't. I don't like this at all. Had a nice gap up there a few days ago, and now it's just not looking on the hot pre market, and even the intraday day. Yeah, I don't like it. All right, so let's stop here, friends. Let's my list so far. I mean, still really bad. I just added Intel to the secondary. Let's take a look at some other ones that you guys have not mentioned yet. It's going to be Tesla, of course. We're going to watch Tesla. It's always a lot of fun here. Right now, they're pretty flat. That's why they're not on our gappers list, but they do have 4.8 million shares traded, right? So I will add this one on here. Given the fact that nothing came off the gappers list, I will look at Nvidia as well, right? So Nvidia also pretty active pre-market activity, almost 9 million. They went from 114 all the way to 117, back down to the previous day close, and then climbing higher here. They're still within that 2% up or down, so they're not showing up on our gappers list. But they have had some pretty good moves this morning so far, so I will put them on the list as well. And I think I'll leave it there for now. We'll see what else we can pull off based on how this market continues to progress here in the pre-market. Friends, let's head over to variabletraders.com. You can come here and you can always look at what's happening. Click on webinars here at the top and you'll see what's taking place in the next 2 weeks. But today we'll focus on Thursday. I thought it was Friday today. I was happy when I woke up and I thought it was Friday because Jared was off today. And when Jared's not on, that's like
I
the
see.
cue. That's when I know it's Friday. And there's other things I
Right.
know because I don't have to make lunch for my kids. That's the first thing. But then the confirmation comes in when Jared's not there. I'm like, it's Friday. And when today he wasn't there, I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? You know? But yeah, it's Thursday, friends.
It is Thursday for sure. All right. What are we talking about here? Okay, Thursday, which
Eh,
means that we do have. Oh my God, I'm lost here. Sorry, I was trying to find Ion Q in my list. Anyways, I was getting myself all distracted. We've got a couple of mentorship sessions for you today, right? So Thursday is always about mentorship, and we've got a couple starting at 11 a.m. with Lenny, who's going to talk about trend trading and anything you want to discuss on that. Whether you want to share your trades, you want to hear him talk about his, or you want to listen to what others have to share. 11 o'clock is a good time. That's in the webinar room as always. And it's for our elite members. So hopefully you'll join him there. Now, Jared will be back this afternoon to talk options with you at noon. So that's his option mentorship hour, and he'll take over the webinar room and be able to talk options yesterday. Speaking of which, in that webinar room, how many of you joined to talk to hear Dr. Vanessa Charlin talk yesterday and share her futures trading strategy? Great session there. So hopefully you were able to join if you're an elite member. That was fantastic first time that she did that. And it was a good session. And anyways, and we continue today, right, with more. Tonight we have the ever popular Thor's Mentorship session on Thursday. You got to put all the Thors in there. That's happening at 8 o'clock, as always, in the webinar room. So hopefully you will join him this evening. Don't forget, he's also in the chat room, of course, later this morning, but he'll do a focused mentorship session tonight. That's what we have for you today. Don't forget, we've got more than just what's happening in the room. We've got a whole series of events. If you want to trade live with us, well, then join the chat room, right? We do that all day. We live share our trades. We talk, our members share what they're looking at, their trades, what they're seeing in the market. It's great to have that community surrounding you in your trading. And if you want to have that, then you need to join Bearable Traders. Just go to the website and then you can find the different membership options from the intro offer right through to the elite annual. You need one of the elite memberships to get access to all the webinars, the live and recorded webinars, but they're there for you if you want to check that out. So go to bearabletraders.com. Carlos, maybe scroll down. You can show us those
Sorry,
membership options there.
I was muting some stuff
There you
here.
go.
Okay,
It's
there it
okay.
is.
Hey,
Got it. Yep.
don't worry. I got myself distracted a few minutes ago. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go. So There they are. And don't forget, we have the summit coming in Vancouver. That's coming at the end of the month. Again, it's going to be a great session. We're really looking forward to it. In fact, we had a conversation about this yesterday about, the pricing of it. If you go to the website, it said there's a price increase coming. Andrew's not sure about that one. So, which means that we may sell these tickets faster than expected as people are looking to lock up their ticket quickly. So go to bearable-traders.com/summit and you can get access to that webinar, that live trading session. Again, it's 3 full days. I get it's $500, but it's still 3 full days of activity. Plus, not only the learning and education side, but the social and the interpersonal. It's a great forum. If you haven't been to one, really, it's a fantastic forum. And you don't have to be a member, right? If you're just joining on YouTube and you're listening to us, we have a lot of people that are sort of brand new to trading or just new to the community and say, I'm not even sure if I want to be part of a community. Let me go, to this live session and see if I'll get a bunch of value out of that, and then make some decisions, right? Are these the type of people I want to hang out with and trade with? We get that. And this would be a great opportunity to do that. So if you wanted to join us, the whole schedule of events, everything's there from the first day of TEDx activities through the 2 days of trading focused webinars and detailed learning. It's all on the website, so you can go check it out. So hopefully we'll see you in Vancouver. All right, Carlos, let's set some levels because the open is coming soon. We've got 14 minutes until the opening bell. Carlos and I will take you right through that open. And let's hope that today is better than yesterday, because it was really choppy yesterday.
It was rough.
It really was. Like, it was tough. It was a tough morning.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for a little bit better trading here today. Let's see what we got.
Sometimes you go to websites and you see all the reviews, and every person with a review looks like they took a professional picture in a studio. And I'm like, okay, that's fake, right? That's not true. This is Bill. We know Bill. This is an actual trader. This is an actual person. We know Bill. We met him a couple of times. He goes to a lot of these. Yeah. A great guy. But yeah, it's just the real deal. So it's nice to see that. All right, perfect. Let's get to it, friends. My list is not a blockbuster list at all. IonQ, Intel, Tesla, and NVIDIA. I'm going to add Apple because we talked about it. It's nice. It was nice yesterday. It's been selling off pretty good here. And then on the secondary list, QBTS, ACHR, and XPEF. So not too excited. We'll see how things go. IonQ is getting me excited. Look at this drop we're getting here, 5.5. That is moving very well. So let's get some levels in. Let's start at the top as the drop continues to fall out here. Towards the top, the high of the pre-market, 23.25. So we'll slam one there. And then towards the bottom, we're getting somewhat of a level here, 20.24. Let's see if that's going to hold. I like 20.24 though, because if you look at the daily here, we do have a couple of days opening and closing right around that area. So maybe this might hold. No surprise. That is where we're getting a bit of a support happening right now. Is it going to hold? Not sure. If it doesn't, towards the bottom, just zoom in a little bit more so you can see here a little bit clear. You do have the highs and lows for the last two trading here on 19 something and also around 17 and 80 or so. So pretty good levels there towards the bottom on IonQ. Very active. We'll figure out what's going on here. Peter will come back with that a little bit later. But yeah, something's breaking off. Something's not working right at the moment. Let's go to Intel right now. Intel starting to come alive a little bit here in the last couple of minutes. You can see he's trying to break the high of the day. Today's their day. New CEO, hopefully good. Obviously, the investors like it. Hopefully can trade good today. High of the pre-market, 23.55. Looking to break that any second here. I do still like where that level. Actually, the best level is right over here. It's going to be this 23.68. So I'm going to mark it there because it looks like it's heading that way. But if you look at the daily here, you can clearly see this is where the action is, right? The action is right over here. So we definitely want to have that down, and it looks like we're going right to it. Above that, the next one is going to be 20. Oh, Intel is nice, guys. 24.39 is a good one. And then slightly above that, we do have 25.05. So some pretty good levels on Intel as we continue to move here. Towards the bottom, the low is pretty clean over at a 22.26. And then, but before we get there, there's another area where we do have a lot of support and resistance, 22.75. You definitely want to have that down. And then below that, guys, we start slamming into the highs and lows of the last two trading days as we're up 15%, almost 14% on Intel this morning. That is looking nice. All right, now Tesla stuck between the highs and lows of the last two trading days, has been green for a little bit, not by much, barely red and back to that previous day close line. So I think this will be interesting today. We have 5 million shares traded. All we're going to do on this is just mark the high of the pre-market and the low. So we'll mark the high right over here and we'll mark the low. And then if you look at the bigger picture outside of that, after I put that there, the high, by the way, 249.39, the low 242. If you look at the bigger picture, you're just surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So let's see how this thing wants to trade. We can get some more levels depending how it goes here. But yesterday, this was example of what trading yesterday was like, right? We've been spoiled with so many nice, clean and days here. Yesterday was a little bit messy. And Nvidia this morning, better pre-market activity, looks very clean actually. We've been getting some good movements here, up, down, and back up again. 117.19 is the high of the pre-market, and the low is going to be over at 114.04. So as we zoom out a little bit on the daily, you can see here we're just above the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, which are right over here. So towards the bottom, you're good. Just so many different levels here. I mean, if you add anything else, you're just going to make things very congested and complicated. So let's not do that. Let's focus to the top of 119.20. We'll slam one there. And then in here, it's not a clean one. The clean one is probably all the way up at 121.86. And if somehow this manages to get to 125, it'll be above 121. It'll be 125.14. One that's been trading very well and still showing some more weakness today is Apple, man. Apple is just not feeling the love. So here we are towards the top. You're pretty set. Highs and lows for the last 2 trade days are doing an amazing job. They're covering almost every key level, recent key level there. Previous day close towards the top as well. Support from yesterday is trying to hold today. That is almost to the T. To the penny here, the low of the pre-market, but the low is sitting at actually at 215 on the dot. So we'll slam a level there at 215. And then if we were to lose this area, we're going to go to the left here. We lost a couple of really good, look at this support here. We lost that and we lost this. This was a good support. Me and Brian were talking about this yesterday because once it got to that point, look how much it ran, right? So we lost that there. Towards the bottom here, friends, we're going to go over to 211. 211.87 is a good one. And then we have a nice one here too, just at 213.90. So 213.90 looks really good. If Apple keeps going, that can be a potential area we can get to. All right, that covers our list, friends. INQ, Intel, Tesla, NVIDIA, and I'm going to add Apple to the banner below as well. But that's what I like so far. Peter, what is our team looking at this morning?
All right. Yeah. By the way, IonQ dropping Carisdale Capital, who it's a short seller. They released one of those short seller reports. Never good news when you get targeted by the short sellers.
Here we go.
Which is why they're dropping here this morning. And I don't know the content. I'm not sure what they're suggesting the problem is, but it doesn't matter. The fact that they've got a short report usually creates a reaction, which unfortunately, is always what the short sellers want, right? Because they took a short position before they released the report. So in any event, we'll see if this is sustainable once the opening bell rings. Our moderators in the room here, watching a lot of the stuff we've been talking about. I'm going to go to the top of the list. And Thor is actually doesn't have a list yet because he's trying to get the tools working, so having a little trouble there, but he'll get those functioning as soon as possible. Obviously watching the usual, of course, is Magnificent 8, his Magnificent, the traditional Magnificent 7 and AMD. Sean has got his game plan posted here. By the way, he's always looking for feedback on that, so if you sort of like that detail, let him know. Detailed analysis posted there in social media for you guys to take a look at. Nathan's going to be watching the Magnificent 7 and AMD. Sean, Tesla and AMD specifically is what he's going to be looking at. Oh, Thor did manage to get his list in here. Sorry, Apple, NVIDIA, and Amazon are top of his. Megan is watching IonQ and NVIDIA. Mike is just going to be watching the scanners. He's going to let those tell him what's moving. Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, and Apple. I've got my usual watch list in AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA. A little bit of a long list today because I'm going to be watching Apple. I want to see what Adobe does, QBTS, and of course IonQ with that short seller report just recently out. Brennan is going to be watching Intel, Tesla, and NVIDIA. On the secondary list, he's watching PLTR and Apple. Lenny's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Intel, Adobe, and Path. Brian has got Tesla, NVIDIA, Apple, and then Ion Q on his list. And Eamon is looking at Apple for maybe a long. Maybe he thinks there's a potential rebound, but he'll wait and see what the price action tells him. So as you can see, again, a lot of sort of similarity in the list. Carlos already told you about his list, and it's at the bottom of the screen there. You can see with IonQ, Intel, Tesla. And we just got to wait and see. We got to see what's going to be moving this morning. Pick your targets. Make sure you're focused in a couple things, right? You can't watch everything. You don't want to go chasing butterflies and miss them all. So I'm going to focus in on a few here. And if, they don't pan out, then they don't pan out. I won't be getting a trade at the open. We've got just over 5 minutes until that opening bell. So a little bit of time to, get yourself situated, figure out what you want to trade, and figure out where to put your focus. And no matter what you do, again, you're going to miss something. That's the nature of the market, right? There are tens of thousands of tickers out there to watch, and you just can't keep an eye on them all. So you got to pick a couple. You got to decide what your game plan is and stick to it. Yesterday, we learned that lesson, that it was very important to stick to your game plan. So I hope everybody does that again today. All right, with that,
Absolutely.
we got our live traders in the room. Like Carlos and I are going to stick. Yeah, sorry. Carlos and I are going to stick with you guys on YouTube in the room. We're going to have, looks like Brian and Thor are going to be trading live with you guys in the room there. So that should be good for this morning. Thor, hopefully you can, I saw you asking, you can jump into the room. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna disconnect. I see him coming on right now. So give me a second to disconnect here. YouTube, you'll be fine. But we'll disconnect from chat and we'll continue here on YouTube. All right, excellent. We're out of there. Okay, let's get to it. Let's see what we got going on here. We definitely need a better hitting yes, as you mentioned, Peter. We need something much cleaner than what we had.
Yeah, yesterday was ugly.
It was. It really was. I just want to make sure we're muted there. Okay, perfect. All right, somebody mentioned the POTR in chat. Addy. Yeah, so quickly looking at it, I don't see anything great on it. Volume's 3.8. They always have great volume. But to be honest, I don't see anything explosive on it at the moment. But it's a good one to watch. And today, where we don't have a lot going on, I mean, a lot of these stocks are not really in play besides IonQ, Intel, Tesla, NVIDIA, and Apple. I'm putting them on here because they're just our usual suspects that we like to look at. But they're not really like in play like an Intel or like an IonQ. So the list today is very, very light as far as what's in play. And I think a lot of it, Peter mentioned this earlier, is waiting and seeing what the SPY wants to do. SPY has been very sideways lately, and obviously that's driving a lot of tickers to do exactly the same. Just be very, very lackluster on moves, like Peter likes to say, right? So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, that's my take on POTR and many of these tickers that we're watching this morning.
I didn't realize, is that something I say a lot? Lackluster?
Oh yeah. We've been working long enough, Peter, that we start picking up like, oh, that's what Peter says, and I'm sure you probably have some stuff that I say.
That's my old-fashioned term, I guess. That's 100-year-old me.
There you go, man. I won't say the 100-year you. I will say the experience. The experience in you, man. That's what we'll call it.
There you go. I have a lot of words. I love to read, and I have a lot of these words that every once in a while I'll use that I actually don't know how to pronounce them because I read them all the time. I know the word, I understand its meaning, but I don't know how to say it properly because I've only ever read it, right? And because it's not a common word, I get in trouble. Like, I always think my primary example is actually a name. Back when I used to read my kids the Harry Potter books before the movies came out. And I just read the name the way it looked phonetic to me because I didn't know the name, and I could have sworn the lead female character, her name was Hermione. And I just said Hermione to my kids for years. And when the movie came out and they started pronouncing it Hermione, my kids were totally confused because I had read them like 5 Harry Potter books saying Hermione each time, not realizing that it's properly pronounced Hermione.
That is awesome.
So, anyways, there you go.
There it is.
That happens.
All right, friends. Couple of minutes to the open here. Dalton, yeah, I agree 100%, man. No Andrew and Brian on YouTube for now. Andrew is actually off today, so he's not even in the chat room. If you do want to join the chat room and see Thor and Brian and Andrew when he is back, we'll give you a link so you can join that and go in there. But yeah, for now at least, there's some changes we have to make We don't want to make them. We have to make them this way for a little bit until we figure some stuff out, right? So that's all I can really say on it. We'll see how things play out. But yeah, no offense taken, man. You know, you get used to certain traders and you know their style, and you might relate to them more. So definitely no offense taken whatsoever. And me and Peter, by the way, we're not great opening traders like Brian and Andrew as far as the
We're
excitement.
just not active. Yeah, we
Yeah,
just don't
the
trade
excitement.
that
Yeah,
active
yeah,
style.
yeah. So
All right, my 1 minute alarm went off. We have about 30 seconds to the open now, so let's get
yeah,
ourselves
rock
set
and roll.
here. I'm watching IonQ to see what it's going to do. I'm looking for. Unfortunately, it just moved back up to yesterday's close, and it's pulled the VWAP right into that level, which makes it difficult because I usually like a pop and then a drop. So that's my
Yeah,
open trade, the Rising Devil so-called trade. So, but IonQ is not in a great position for that. So we'll see what it does. I noticed Nvidia is moving higher early, so we'll see what that does because it
yeah.
tends to be a good open mover. There's the bell.
Here we go.
And we're off to the races today. Let's hope that this race is more exciting than yesterday's because, oh my God,
It
yesterday
needs
was
to
just,
be. Yeah, yeah.
it was so bad. So bad.
Let's see what our buddy INQ is doing here. Pretty quiet right now. And Nvidia is actually moving quite a bit. Oh, that's a nice drop in Nvidia. Hoping that we can get something going here. So for me, guys, I'm looking for a 5-minute ORB. I gotta wait 5 minutes for my trade to set up. Around minute 3, you might get sometimes some opportunities to take a trade. It's not really a 5-minute ORB, but you can kind of, you know, take a breakout trade. If I see that, I'll let you know. But I'm waiting 5 minutes, and Nvidia for the 5-minute ORB is getting ugly now. If it continues to get this extended, then it's not gonna be a good setup. But let's see how things go here. Tesla dropping, so everything kind of going south first, except IonQ. Nvidia coming back. Peter, you got your eyes on something? You're getting quiet on me.
Yeah, I'm watching
What you looking at?
IonQ here to see what it's going to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a short seller and you issue a hit report on a company and it goes green, it's got to be disappointing for you.
I don't know how that's legal,
Shows that
man.
you're
How is that legal?
shows
You
how
know,
you.
we'll talk about that a little bit
I
later.
know.
But how is that legal? Like, I don't understand that. Well, we'll get into that later after the opener. Yeah.
It does seem like a little bit of yeah, unfair play, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyways, I guess you better have your research in line, and you can substantiate your claims. Then it's really just an opinion piece, and obviously opinions are allowed. But
Yeah.
it's an opinion with purpose, of course, because you're trying to actually drive the stock down. So, in any event,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
IonQ is not sort of set up the way I like, so it might drop now. But unfortunately, it broke my rules for an open trade, so I've got to sit on the sidelines for this one. I really wanted to take that short, but
Yeah. What do we think about Intel's coming back up here? Trying to get going above the pre-market highs, which are actually at 23.78. So I'm going to mark that there, 23.78. Let's see if we can get 23.74 actually.
QBTS moving higher.
Let's
Not
go.
really trading so far.
Full disclosure, I got a position at 590 for a swing on this. Probably will add long-term stuff. So, but it's
well, there you
moving
go.
good.
Adobe is moving lower here. So
Yeah, let me do this because I don't want to keep flipping back and forth. Let me get
Nvidia looks like it's going to go red here.
I'm just gonna add your camera here because the flipping back and forth is distracting me. Hold on.
There we go. All right, taking a partial. I did take a little bit short on Nvidia, guys, just because this is again not my typical trade, but take the momentum where you can get it, I suppose. It looked like it was pushing towards yesterday's close. It just went red briefly. It's green again now. My entry is just above 116. If it goes back up there, I'll probably just stop it out. I don't like taking a lot of risk on these open trades. So, oh, yeah. Came back to my entry here. I'm just going to get out of it. So, all right. Well, I only got a tiny little trade, small partial, and then out of NVIDIA.
Nice, Peter. Just
Baba is moving higher. That's one of the ones you like, Carlos.
yeah. Oh,
Probably
wrong
not this
person.
early in the morning, but
Yeah.
all right. Oh wow. So NVIDIA, yeah, hit the previous day close, really bounced higher. We'll see if it can hold this. NVIDIA's always. I know, like, some people love to trade NVIDIA at the open. I know Andrew often sort of takes positions in this, and it's great when it's trending, when it's moving in a direction. I personally find it difficult to read. I mean, a lot of orders on the top side now, so it does look like it's looking to stretch higher. Got to see if it can get back up to the 117 level. There's a lot of orders sitting and waiting for it there. A lot of orders sitting higher at 117.20, 117.30, 40, 50. So, yeah, it looks like, looks good potentially for a move higher. Maybe I should just have more faith in these things, right, and just give it a good shot. But I like the bigger setups. I really like to know that I've got a high probability of success. I really struggle with these 50-50 trades, and that's the reality of these momentum trades. Like, most momentum strategies are probably about 50-50 in terms of your win-loss. But as long as you can make more on the wins than you do on the losses, then it can be very lucrative, as Andrew's proven for years on end. I'm just not confident enough to make it work. So anyways, Apple started down. It's right back to where it started from right now. And Tesla is moving lower. So we got a bunch of stuff moving, certainly better so far than it did yesterday at this time. So that's good news.
Yeah. I like NVIDIA here. I missed the entry on NVIDIA for sure, right? When it was crossing VWAP, would have been a much better entry for 5-minute RB breakdown. Man, I missed that entry. Wow. Okay. All right, and Intel, look at Intel. Intel's doing his thing too.
Yeah. John in the chat room took Intel for his signature high of day break trade, so he's still sitting in that. And of course, he's hoping for a push higher. I see one of our members posted a trade that they took. They took the NVIDIA bounce off of VWAP. Wow, they had to hold with some guts there, because it looks like they probably took it before it actually went red. Wow, okay. Anyways, nice trade for Corey.
Wow, Tesla. All right, you guys are mentioning PLTR in chat. We'll take a look here. Yeah, nice drop. Everything seems to, like, the last minute, it's been dropping, right? Like, even if you look at Tesla, NVIDIA coming back now, Apple's holding. Apple's doing a nice 5-minute engulfing here. That looks pretty nice, and the 1 minute looks good too on Apple. Let's wait for a confirmation candle. Maybe we can get in on this Apple trade. Apple sold off so much. I think it's just ready to head the other way. But let's see. I would like to see this 5-minute candle close, completely engulfing, and then get another candle that kind of heads higher. I talk a lot about this in my P Capital mentorship group. Getting these confirmation candles helps a lot. Not get stuck in the pullback. So it's kind of like waiting for the pullback to happen before you jump in. Probably the best way to explain it. Like right now, the pullback is happening and it's not looking great on the 5-minute. If you look at it here, I like it to close with the engulfing complete, and we haven't done that yet, so might not be ready.
Yeah,
Here
Nvidia
we go.
looks choppy so far. Didn't manage to break out. Tesla, though, oof, it's directionally moving lower. Poor Tesla.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right, looking on Apple here. Here's the pullback. We should be getting our confirmation candle here. Let's see if we can close. It's 5-minute engulfing.
You're trading Apple?
Not
Or
yet.
you're waiting?
Not yet. I'm waiting for it to close. I
Okay.
want it to close green, and I want the next candle to kind of do a little pullback and head higher. And that's my
I
signal
see.
to go in there. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to
That's
wait.
fair.
Yeah. Let's see if we get it. How's Store and Brian doing in chat?
It looks like a fairly light morning again for them. I don't see a lot
Hmm.
of trades, a lot of evaluation going on. They got some confused looking faces.
We're all spoiled. We're all hurting from yesterday. We're like, we gotta be careful. All right. Come on. Here it is. So the candle has closed. Let's get an. We might not get a pullback if this thing is gonna be strong. I might need to just jump in here. Um, yeah, let's go long Apple. I think we're not gonna get a pullback. It's looking strong to try to get to the previous day close. I'll ask some more if it gets to 216.20 because that's where I really wanted to get in. But let's see if we can get something going here. But nice engulfing on the 5-minute there. Let's see if we can get moving higher. If we can get some continuation. What did Nvidia end up doing? I know that was the other one I was looking at. A possible
Yeah, nothing
trade.
yet. Nvidia's really just stuck in a range here, so
Yeah.
it's definitely struggling.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's hope it's not let's hope it's not another range type day, man. I don't want to see that. Those are boring and hard days to trade.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate when the days start like this that at least I've got strategies that I trade primarily later on in the day that can keep me
Yeah.
very active. But like yesterday they didn't play out. Like I swear, like you guys who were with us live in YouTube, I had that one tiny little trade yesterday at the open, and then I didn't trade
Yeah.
again until 10 minutes to the close, like because nothing set up for me. So some days are just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. A lot. You pointed out something pretty nice yesterday too. Like a lot of stuff traded within that range. Like that
Hmm.
8:30 candle. Like if you looked at all my entire watch list, everything was stuck within that range. So technically here I should be adding
Well,
on Apple, but that's just talking through yesterday.
right. We
I don't
talk
want to
about that
add.
because, like, well,
Go ahead.
and well, hey, you're looking at Apple right now. I mean, Apple is one of those that if you look at just look at the so I said sometimes it's the 8:30, sometimes it's the 8 o'clock candle. So look at that 8 o'clock candle, and there it is. Like you had it on the screen there just a
On the
second ago.
5 minute or
Um,
the 5 minute, right?
yeah, it
Well, I think they're
doesn't really
both the
matter.
same. Yeah, it doesn't matter
It
today. Yeah.
doesn't really matter. But look, I mean, look where it sort of hesitated at the top side, right? It's pretty close to where that that candle was. Now it did
Yeah.
bust through on the
Yeah.
downside, but again, it's a dangerous range when you start just playing within that. So
You're
yeah,
right,
so
man.
it's
Yeah.
worth
Yeah.
being aware of it. Again, some days you can use it, some days you can't, but it's always good to be aware of, in my opinion. So
Agreed. Frank the Tank says, when you don't want to do something, you should. That's part of trading. You got to be uncomfortable. All right.
yeah.
I don't like this here. Um, let's see. Oh, what's this? All right. Let's see. Apple's falling apart on me. 215.80. I have to get out. Yep, I'm out. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. Another day of choppiness. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. Let's see if we get more opportunities. But the tough thing about this too is like my signal was perfect. Like I take that signal every single time, right? And
Right.
it works, but not all the time. But it works more often than not. But when the market is trading the way it is right now, on a stock that's not in play like Apple's not in play. We're just watching
Right.
it because we love it. Oh, look at Nvidia.
Well,
That's a
and
nice
that's why
drop.
the signals you develop are important. That you stick to
Yeah.
that and obey them, in my opinion, because that's what keeps you that's what keeps you in the game, right? Sometimes when you get
Mm-hmm.
these bad days. Paris just posted a good trade. He managed to get along on Intel and traded his usual style, and that's one you maybe Carlos could drag over if you can see
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
image you brought just to share with. There it is. You can guys see how Paris got in right off the open, partialed his way up. That's a typical Paris type trade. So congratulations to him. This is Paris is one of the moderators in the room, by the way. Teaches his strategies and his styles. He's very big on watching the level two. That's level two in time and sales. That's what he watches. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but anyways, so I'm looking back at IonQ, for example, right? So the only setup I had this morning was IonQ, where I was looking for what I call my Rising Devil trade, and I was looking for it to move up to a level, show weakness, and then drop, because there was a short sellers report, and I was hoping it would get back down to the low it set at 9:15 after that report came out. It didn't meet my criteria, right? It really just didn't show the price action I was looking for, and I didn't take the trade. And looking at it now, very happy I didn't, right? So my strategy kept me out of trouble in that case. I didn't get a trade, but I also didn't lose any money, right? So the strategy accurately, gave me the indicators I needed to say, nope, not a good setup for what I'm looking to accomplish. Therefore, I will sit on the sidelines, and I'm very happy for that. So
Yeah.
while I
Yeah.
don't have a trade yet, I can at least say I stuck to my rules, and I benefited from it.
Um, the curse of trading live. No, I used to have that though, because remember, I used to trade live every day before, when I was much less experienced than I am now. And yeah, when you're trading live, you want to show people trades and you want to trade. I don't have that anymore. I could care less. Before, it was a problem though. When you first do it, like you want to show people that you're trading, that you're active. Now I know what works. You're not going to see me trade as much as you think you are, as far as my trading strategy. I used to take 10 trades a day in a 5 minute RB. Who does that? Now you might see 2 or 3 a day tops. So
Yeah.
you got to find what works. But yeah, but you're right. Before I used to do that, like, oh, let me take a trade, and I would take like stupid trades just to show people I'm active, and I don't do that no more. I'm not gonna do that for you guys.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's part of the maturing as a trader, right? We all sort of move
Yeah,
through that
yeah,
urge,
yep.
and I still get sometimes like I'll take a trade. I'm like, it's because I'm live. I got to show people
Oh
I'm
no,
doing
no, no,
something. But
no. I hear you.
every once in a
No, I
while,
mean you're aware of it, right? You're aware of it because you're live with people. You want to
right,
teach them something or show them, hey, this is good, this is
right.
bad. But I don't like losing money.
Yeah, neither do
Yeah.
I. To
I don't.
John's question there on YouTube, I did answer you, John, but yeah. So I've got basically parallel strategies or inverse strategies, corollary strategies, if you prefer, called the Rising Devil and the Fallen Angel. The Fallen Angel would be the opposite of a Rising Devil. So they basically have all the same indicators, just in opposite directions.
Yep, yep.
And they're not
And
actually mine, by the way. I've taken them
yeah,
from Brian. Brian coined both the terms and the base conditions of the strategy. I really just took it, and once I observed that it's something that made sense to me, I started adding my own criteria and my own rules. And so yeah, and that's a great thing about trading, right? You can take other people's strategies and sort of make them your own where it makes sense to you. And in this case, it did. So yeah, I give him full credit for it.
nice, nice. Is INQ going to survive its hit report here? Man,
It looks
look at
like
this
it.
one
I
minute.
mean, it's
Yeah,
green. Again, you got to be disappointed if you issued that hit report, and you were excited probably when it first came out because the first 15 minutes looked good for you. But yeah,
right.
it's recovered Well, I mean, not everything. It was sitting at $23 pre-market, but it's certainly higher than it was at the close yesterday. So I don't even know what this hit report says. Again, I don't know what they're claiming. Anybody out there see it? Do you know what they're claiming?
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't
Yeah.
just heard it now from you, so we'll have to check out what takes place. Is Tesla going to have one of these sell-off days? So I just go short here. Are we going to be like at 210 later? I mean, I don't want to miss out on the fun, right? It's just when it gets in this short situation, man, it's been known to just go. Let's take a look at the daily here.
Tesla? Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Man, it's just having such a bad time. But beautiful short right now. I'm saying not getting in, beautiful short from the market open on Tesla there. Just the weakness continues. Reversal on Meta. It's kind of early for reversals, no? I'm not a... Peter, you trade reversals. It's kind of early, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do. But it's very early for reversals for me. I only trade reversals starting at about 10:30. Rarely I will go around 10:15 if the market sets up, but that is very rare. So it's usually 10:30, 10, towards 11. Sometimes I said, my first reversal that I like will happen around 1:30, if at all. So.
All right, NVIDIA coming back above the VWAP.
Yeah, Nvidia's choppy again. Apple, sorry about that, Carlos, but choppy in there.
Yeah, no, it's choppy. Great open. Like if you look at this 1 minute, that is beautiful right here. And then now we're just kind of getting even messier. But yeah, no continuation. Unfortunate.
QBTS is one that actually moved nice off the open. Now it looks like it's hesitating here. It's a tougher one just because it's a lower price, and the lower price stocks often don't quite move the same way. It's also tough, I find, because if you look at the level 2 on QBTS, we don't have a level. Do we have a level 2 to share, Carlos?
Yeah, I got my level 2.
There's a lot of big orders that just sit on that level 2, and when you have a lot of big orders just all over the place, it gets hard. I got mine highlighted so that they all turn black when it's a big order. But you just see these big numbers, right, sitting on the size on the bid and the ask, and it makes it hard to determine which direction it's going. Unlike Nvidia, where you don't tend to get that many big orders, so you can actually tell more easily where the volume is trying to push it, right? At least where those are deep pockets. Like right now, I'm seeing a lot more big orders on the bid side of Nvidia. So it looks like in the very short term, it's more likely to push down than higher. Now, that's only one indicator, of course, but it gives you an idea. When I see big orders sitting at, well, now they're popping on and off here, 115.30, 115. There's a few orders sitting there, right? Like you're saying, okay, well, maybe it'll go down and get those orders. There's no guarantee, of course, but that's why we use the level 2 as one of the things, at least you can in your trading. So. In any event, Tesla. Where is Tesla going? Tesla right now, no indication on the level 2. Really no orders sitting anywhere that I can see. Nowhere near the price action. We got some orders at the whole dollar numbers, but that's usual for Tesla, right? I see some orders at 238. I see some lower at like 237, 236, but that's usually the case. But it does look weak.
Tesla looks weak, man. This will be my impulsive trade for the week. It's going to be on this one here on Tesla. This will be my impulsive trade. I've been trading very well this week, but this will be the impulsive one for the week. For the YouTube channel, for the YouTube algo, we're gonna go short Tesla. Let's see.
There you go.
Because I don't know.
Look what we just talked about. By the way, guys, like, hey, we're not live trading, but look at that. Look at Nvidia, right? So what did I call? The price was sitting at 115.60. I said on the level 2 we saw orders sitting at 115.30 and 115, and it literally went down and paused at each of those levels and took out those orders. So there you go. It just shows you how you can leverage that level 2, right, to give you an indication. Now, it doesn't mean I know where it's going to go past that. Maybe now it'll get some momentum and continue to drop to the downside. But that needs more indicators. That's why you can't just rely on the level 2, because right now, if I look at the level 2, I don't see the same type of sort of definitive direction that I felt I could see to the 115 level.
Yeah. Right now, setting up for a lot of weakness. Nvidia losing the low of the day there. Tesla continues slow grind, but it's got a direction picked out. IonQ finally broke out below the VWAP here. I think it's just overall market stuff, right? QBTS.
Yeah. Jeez, I should have followed my own advice, taking that Tesla trade. Or the Nvidia trade.
Nvidia was much better. What do I got going on Bloomberg? I got Bloomberg TV on this side. Let's check if any articles are coming out. Anything that's driving the market lower. I don't see anything significant. All right, let's see here. Wow, Nvidia is like, man. Anybody take this in chat? Okay, the whole market is just getting lower.
Yeah.
Peter, let's jump on Tesla impulsive trades for today. What are you thinking? Let's join. Let's be part of history.
I'll watch from the sideline for you. No, I've watched these things pop back up too often. Unless I've got a strategy, I'm just watching.
Man, I know. Meta is great. Yeah, Meta. I saw Meta earlier. We pulled it up. Everything is just south. I mean, the one I try to go long on, Apple, try to hold, but everything else from the gates. I wish I would have been looking at something else instead of Apple. Everything is just a slowly grinding lower. Intel try to get going, try to do some stuff here. They got good news. Doesn't matter. Right back down right now. So we are getting a nice little sell-off here. Pull back on Nvidia. Let's see if we can get anything going. Tesla just sticking to the 9 pretty good. Do we get a short on here? I don't know. Nvidia, Intel, QBTS coming back. This could be a fun trade. IonQ still low of the day, 2024.
I think now's the time for IonQ, maybe.
No, it could be, but I loved it a little bit higher. At 70 cents higher would have been great. Now it's a little bit tough. And I'm not great at that strategy, I'll be honest. Like, I'll let you guys know this is not a strategy I normally trade, so don't follow me.
Tesla. Yeah, never follow us. We are not running an alert service. That's not what we're ever trying to do here. So
no. And you don't have to. We can't respond for your account results. That's for sure. We're not responsible.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I think we're just gonna have a sell-off day. I'm not gonna try to take a reversal here. I'm gonna jump short on Tesla here. Let's see what happens. So we in short. Let's see where this goes. I just hope we have like a really nice sell-off today. So my stop is above 240. Yeah, let's just do it, man. I think everything looks so weak, and usually people get stuck trying to take reversals. I'm just gonna join the party and try to see if we can drive this car, off the cliff here. Would be nice. Let's see. Let's join the masses today. All right, let's see here. SPY needs to help us though. We need to get some help from the SPY to head lower here as well. Reversals on Meta, maybe. I'm not great at reversals, so I'm not the best person to ask. I find them so difficult to trade. Andrew caught a great reversal, was it like 2 days ago? It was so clean. Like, he double bottom, I think on Nvidia, it was just perfect. Then back to the VWAP. But those are they're very difficult.
I mean, reversals are my bread and butter, but they're very structured reversals, right? They're not
Yeah.
this open type reversals. Um, mine are double top, double bottom, evolved double top and double bottom strategies, which
Yeah.
means they're
Yeah.
very restrictive. But that's what I trade.
Yeah. Matt, study what in depth? When I first started, yes, when I first started years ago, 6, 7 years ago, I tried to do double bottoms, double tops, and I was just horrible at them. But it could just been that I just didn't spend enough time, on them. But the 5 minute RB started working a lot faster, so I just stuck with that. Um, but yeah, I can't say I haven't spent like a lot of time trying to learn it, going to webinars. I done the mountain pass a couple of times, Peter. I like that one because it is
Oh,
very structured.
very good.
You're not gonna always get a lot of trades, but the mountain
Right.
pass is really, really like I like that reversal because the double bottom ones could be so subjective. But the mountain pass is you got like 10 different criteria on there that you must hit, and that helps. That helps get good quality trades.
Yeah.
So. If you
Yeah,
guys want to look at
exactly.
that, by the
That's
way, no, go ahead, Peter.
okay.
I'll pull this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it's I built it that way because I'm risk adverse and I like to know that I've got a good success probability on my trades. So it is just a typical double bottom, double top type strategy. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I've added a bunch of criteria around it that make sure that I have a lot of confidence in its ability to function. It doesn't mean it always works by no stretch of the imagination, but I know that my likelihood of success is much greater when I follow my criteria. So
Yep. I just want to show you guys
and
here. So
working.
here it is. You have 29 strategies. The mountain pass is one of them. You can get access to this on bearbutraders.com. So definitely go there, and you can take advantage of it. So, um,
Yep.
yep. Uh-oh. Tesla, what are we doing? I ain't like that drop down to
Yeah. Let's
234.
see. Draw.
What's happening? That's not a good sign. Buyers are
Mm,
stepping in. Let me put my buttons on the hockey
uh,
here. You might need to bail on this
we'll
thing.
see.
Yeah, I'm not
We'll
bailing on it
see.
yet.
It's still,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Let's see if we can go and retest that. 1.2 million on just that 1 minute candle, guys. Let me show you the 1 minute. That's a lot of volume, man. That is awesome.
Mm.
And this is why we love Tesla. This type of volume is just incredible. All right, Tesla, you're making me nervous. I think as much as I like that volume, I don't like the way that candle closed on the 1 minute. Let's head lower if we can. All right, here we go. Lower, higher low, which is not great. This candle would be key. If this candle can close lower, that'll be awesome. But if it can't, that could be dangerous if we can make a new low here. Yeah, you parsed at 234. Nice, man. I was looking at other stuff. I missed it. I would definitely parse it there with you 100%. I got to get more disciplined to pay attention to my trades when I'm on with you guys. I wanted to show you something. And now the trading guys are gonna make me pay. Did we lose Peter? Peter looks frozen. Peter?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, I was sending a message to my daughter. I realized
Oh,
I didn't
okay,
give her the
okay.
morning update. So yeah, I
Nice,
got to give her a
nice,
morning update on her dog, my charge here this week. So
nice. Is she still in DR?
yeah.
Beautiful, man. All right, I didn't like this here. Let's see if we can hold 238. I have to get out of the trade at 238. We don't want to make a new high. That's the thing. We have higher lows on the 5 minute all the way down, and we don't want to make a new high here. We made a new high on the 1 minute, so that's not going to work. It looks like we're going to get stopped out. So hands on the hotkey here, and let's see where it goes. 238 will get out, but this is my fault. This is a good trade. I should have partial twice, 235, 234. So this doesn't work out. It's on me. It's not on the actual. We got what we wanted. We wanted to drop. We got $2 on it, and we didn't take it. So that's on me. Can't blame the price action.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't go chasing those.
Yeah. Well, we said it was my impulsive trade of the week, so don't follow this one. But I want this to sell down. I want to take advantage, man. So many times we come back late in the day and Tesla's down at 200. I'm like, man, sell-off type day. It has that feel today, but Peter, you're 100% right. So many times we've seen these stocks just shoot right back up to the VWAP, and then sell down again later. Right? I'm saying that's not going to sell down, but the pullbacks can be rather aggressive. So we'd love to see this candle close red if we can. We got seconds, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then the next one is on. Let's take a look here. Fingers on the hotkey. 238 will out of the trade. Yeah, Mike B. Yeah, this is not one of my trades. Like, I don't trade this often. This was like, let's get in here and see the drop. But again, we got it. We got 234. We're not paying attention. But Stefan he parts without 234. He did the right thing, right? So good job there, man. And we'll see. 238 is my stop. If we get a miracle and get to 234, I'll take a couple of partials for sure. But it's not looking like so, as the moving averages are turning a little bit here. Hard to tell, man. Just going sideways right now in the 1 minute. Keep your stick on the ice, Raymond. Well said. I'm not a hockey fan, but well said.
Yeah.
That is 100% right, man. Eyes on the ball here. And I'm not a hockey fan, Peter. Are you a hockey fan?
You bet.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I went to a hockey game for the first time, New Jersey Devils, when they played here in a Prudential Center. Not Prudential Center. It was by the Meadowlands near Giant Stadium. Man, it is exciting. Like, there's so much stuff you don't catch on TV, like the stuff like subbing. I did not know that subbing, there's no timeout. It's just kind of jump on the ice. The other guy comes off. I'm like, what's happening? I had no idea. So it's pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah.
The average
fun. The average shift is only about 30 seconds. And normally in a hockey game, you get, somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes between whistles, right? When they stop play. So, they're over the boards all the time, leaping on and off. And they got to be careful about that because, of course, sometimes they like to jump onto the ice before the player that they're replacing comes off the ice. Then you get the too many men in the ice penalty. But at any rate,
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. That was something I was like, I had no idea that's the way things went down.
Yeah. So Nvidia's heading back to VWAP here and to the previous day close. So bounce off the lows. Tesla's still hanging out at the bottom. So we'll see what it does.
Yeah. It's trying. I think it's struggling. It's trying to get lower. We'll see. I'm hanging on here.
One of those days where you can debate. So Nvidia is very influential, of course, being one of the largest offerings in the market, right? So the most capitalized, big volume. It tends to move the market. And I think it's the largest holding of some of the market indices. So when you look at like the SPY or the triple Qs we talk about that we use just to judge market direction, the pattern of them this morning look very similar to Nvidia's stock. So the question I'm getting at is Nvidia following the market or is the market following Nvidia?
Mm.
And it's a tough question to answer because really the
Yeah, yeah,
market, as we're naming it, is really just an ETF, which is a basket of a number of stocks, of which Nvidia is the largest. So,
that's interesting, man. Yeah,
right. So, like, which is pushing which, and it's tough to answer. You got to remember that when you're looking and trading these things, because I watch. Right now Tesla is not exactly moving like the market, is it? Because the market sort of bounced and moved back up, whereas Tesla's just hanging out at the bottom.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but Nvidia, if you overlaid Nvidia's chart with the Qs right now, for example, they look very similar today. So
Yeah, they sure do, man. They got the drop, the bounce back. I mean, yeah, they're identical. They really are. Friends over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We hope you're having a great day. Seems better than yesterday, but not by much. Again, just all this uncertainty that's going on at the moment, tariffs and everything else, and again, inflation, man. Inflation is really high. So, you know, we'll see how things continue to go here. All right, right now I am just so far this morning. Trade on Apple didn't work out, so got one stop. I am in Tesla, trying to get lower. The longer it holds on here, the less likely it's going to work. But it hasn't hit my stop. It hasn't given me a clear get the hell out of this trade move yet. So we're hanging out, see if we can get to the low of the day again, 234. But it's just a lot of sideways action right now. And if I look at everything else, like Peter was mentioning it, Intel trying to hold green. Everything else on my list is red, man. Apple, red. Nvidia, red barely. Tesla, red. IonQ, red. So everything in the downside right now besides Intel. So it's got that sell-off type feel day. Let's see.
Okay, so you're right. So Sergey was saying that Apple is the highest, and he's correct. Apple is 7%, Microsoft is 5.98, and Nvidia is 5.64. So it's only the third largest holding. But so it's interesting that the Nvidia is the one that looks most of those top three stocks: Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. I would say that Nvidia looks most like the SPY. So to your point, maybe Nvidia is just following the market. It really doesn't have a lot of independence today. It's going to do whatever the market does, as opposed to Apple, which does look slightly different, choppy but different.
Yeah. Well, if you think about those two, Apple and what's the other one? Microsoft, definitely a lot more less volatile than Nvidia, and Apple to a certain extent. Lately, they've been struggling. But Nvidia is by far the most volatile of all of those. So that could be a reason too. I mean, 30 is still a lot. That's still a pretty big chunk, So we'll see. All right, friends, let's not make the same mistake twice. Tesla is giving us an opportunity here to get to the low of the day. We're gonna pay attention, and I'm not gonna answer it. I'm not gonna take my eyes off the puck here or off the hockey stick, however you get. Whatever Raymond said, I'm with him. That thing he said.
You're gonna pay attention.
I'm paying attention. All right. Let's see. If we can get there, will be great. But it is surely struggling to go lower, which is not good.
So Thor sounds like in the chat room, Thor is sitting in a trade. He went short a while back, but he's got very specific targets. He's actually short on Tesla with you, Carlos.
Okay.
And he's got a target of 232.40. It looks like. So he's looking for it to get quite a bit lower.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty far down. I don't know if we're gonna get there.
He went short around 241. It looks like, and he's.
So he had a very wide. Yeah, he has very wide. Entry there.
So, but a $2 stop. It looks like his stop's just over 243. He's got it on the screen. You could screen scrape that if you wanted to show our friends on YouTube.
Over on YouTube, on the screen here. There we go. Yep, it's up.
There you go. So you can see he's got his entry marked. You can see the entry marked with the red arrow, and then he's got his stop loss and his target on that screen.
So he's looking for like a S6 type move here. He's going from S4 which is up here to XS6. So we'll see. We'll see what it does here. But Tesla is struggling to head lower, that's for sure. Man, another choppy day, back to back. This is not it's not ideal. But there's like, if you look, sometimes you find things like, oh man, I traded the wrong stock, could have traded this was better. Looking at this thing, there's just nothing here that says, oh, this is great. Everything is sideways. Very similar to what we had yesterday. They selling NVIDIA close, says Gurinder. Let's see. Oh no, NVIDIA's going higher. Actually, it's going the other way. It's going higher. Oh, Tesla's going to stop me out. Looking at the screen, didn't take my eyes off the ball here.
What? You said you weren't going to do that?
No. I said I did not. I was looking at the screen. I had it. Yeah. No. So stop me out here. 238 is my stop. Can't let it go higher than that.
We'll see what it does here.
Choppiness, and I still don't trust it for a long unless something develops here. But very, very choppy.
NVIDIA looks like it's gaining a little bit of strength here, pushing. It's green. It's got some orders on the level 2, slightly higher. NVIDIA is good at telegraphing, I find, where it's going if you use the level 2. For those of you that like to trade NVIDIA, I find one of the tools that a lot of our members use is something called Bookmap. Again, not advocating for it, but just saying it's a tool that's out there that allows you to visualize where unexecuted orders, where future orders sit. Level 2 gives you the same information, just in a different format. So, but the Bookmap sort of visualizes it, as to where they're sitting. So, anyways, I find that NVIDIA's I find it works better on different stocks, right? Better or worse depending on the stock. Apple is one I find the level 2 not all that helpful. NVIDIA much more helpful. We were talking earlier. It's more volatile.
I think it is. That's why the volatility is so high in NVIDIA. I think that helps a ton when it comes to that.
It's the right. I find it's always that right combination of institutional orders and your institutional orders and your sort of retail traders that often gives you that good sort of visibility you can use the level 2 for. QBTS, for example, we were talking earlier, it just seems to have orders a little bit of everywhere, right? I just don't know what to do with that. Like, it's not helpful.
Yeah. Speaking of which, QBTS. So I have that. So I'm long on that on Thinkorswim. We got in it when me and Avi were trading live. We took a swing on that. He didn't take it, but I was mentioning I was going to take a swing on that. And we're in at 590. So not bad. And not a lot. It's a very small size. What are we here? We're up $235. I took $2,000 because on Thinkorswim you could just put the dollar amount. So we took $2,000, came out to like 300. Where are the shares here? Where are the number of shares? Oh, 338 at the top, 338. So we'll see. It was up as much as $700 in a couple of days when it shot up above 7. Should have sold, but I think the quantum is the new thing. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly been talk of the town for the last little while.
Yeah. The next one, as we wait for something, is Apple. Apple. American Airlines. This is the one I'm gonna get in, and I'll get in a lot more heavier on this one. I had a lot of luck with American Airlines, below $10. But you have to hold. Like, you might have to hold for a couple of months if you do go that route. So just be careful. But there's a lot of stuff going into value, Peter. That, like, the prices are really cheap. Like, even NVIDIA, if you look at NVIDIA here at 114, 116 long term, this is an amazing price.
Right.
Like, this is at a discount right now for you, depending on your time frame. So All right, Tesla bouncing back. Nvidia trying to get to the high of the day here. I don't have any strategies now, so I won't be touching anything. You know what happens too, Peter, when you get stuck in this chop, the reversals get screwed up because now you don't get extended. Like Tesla's probably the only one that had a nice extension towards the bottom, coming back up, but you're not far from VWAP anymore. But if you stay stuck like this, where's your reversals? You're not gonna get a reversal on something like this. You don't get extended. So that doesn't make any sense.
100% agree, and that's why you see me sitting on the sidelines a lot, right? So
yeah.
So like Nvidia, for example, if it heads higher and sets a new high of day, then I might be in play, right? I might be able to start looking for a potential reversal to see if it'll go lower. Tesla for right now is not in a position where I can even remotely look at my reversal strategy because it's sitting right at the VWAP in its midpoint of the price action.
Yeah.
Apple, right? So it's easy for me to scan to see what's a potential reversal in my strategy because I can just look and see what's at high or what's near high or low of day. Baba, for example, potentially it could be a reversal. It's actually at high of day right now and just set some volume up there. So, if it goes back up and retests, there might be a reversal opportunity. But I wouldn't trade that if the market is still pushing strongly higher because, I don't want it to be influenced. Or it might not retest and it might actually go lower from here and I'd miss that opportunity too. So anyways, Baba, I'm watching. As I said, Nvidia, I'll wait and see what it does. You mentioned earlier Meta, Google. Yeah, they had big sell-offs earlier this morning. Looks like they're also bouncing back towards their respective VWAPs.
Meta. Matt, question in chat. We get that question a lot. Do I trade full time? And I'm saying me, like the moderators or anybody else.
Right.
And it's so subjective, to be honest, because yes, I do trade full time, but here's what: I don't pay medical expenses. Thankfully, my wife has great medical. I tried looking for private medical, Peter, here in the U.S. is $25,000-$30,000 for my family. So let's say if I had to oh, baby, I could trade. Let's go to you could stop working and everything. No. You can't do that. Once you start looking at how you can cover your family and it's like $30,000 a year just for coverage. So, it's subjective, right? Depends on, what full time means to you. I don't have a lot of expenses, thankfully. So that's all I do is just trade. I got an apartment that I rent out to as well. I'm trying to build more of that, but it's hard to get 3 properties under your name here in New Jersey, especially after what happened in 2008. Very difficult. But yeah, there's a couple of things I'm trying to do. I want to start businesses too, Peter, because I think about my kids, right? I can't pass down day trading to them. No, seriously, you can't. What are you gonna do? You'll pass down. Oh, what if they don't want to trade? What if they hate it? So
yeah, well, but they might not want to be in the business either.
Yeah, but at least they can sell it, right?
That's
They don't mind. They can sell it. You don't want to stay. You don't want to run the real estate. Couple of apartments or houses, sell them. Do what you want.
Fair.
But you can't teach trading. So I think about that a lot. What am I gonna leave these guys, man? Aside from their accounts that we have set up and everything else. Again, that could be another podcast for another time. Let's get back into trading.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay.
I think about that. It's weird.
Matthew Newcomb, that's probably not his actual name, but Matthew NKTM is asking can you show the SPY 8 a.m. chart? And I think it is interesting because I just called it up.
Too. Yeah.
Put up the SPY.
Which stock?
5 minute is good. The SPY, SPY.
5 minute?
Yeah. 5 minutes good. So there you go.
Here
and
it
if
is.
we put so what's interesting, look at the range on that 8 a.m. candle, right? It's right in there. And you can see, look at how many times it tested the top end of that range, right? It did break through the bottom end, but only with wicks. But look at the pre-market, it tested it 3 times. Right now, it roughly came back to that area, but didn't directly test that. So this is why we pay attention to it, because sometimes, yes, it will set that trading range for the day, and you got to be aware. Mostly, what I use it to say, okay, if I'm thinking of a trend continuation trade, or if anybody is, right, pay attention to where those limits are, because that could be a trading range that you're in. So for instance, you wouldn't want to go long towards the low of that, and you wouldn't want to go high towards the top of that. However, if you break through it, then you might be able to get a continuation. Again, there's no absolutes in trading. Some days this works really well, and you can almost pull up any stock and you're like, oh my God, this works fantastic. Other days, like, it will totally ignore, right, that 8 a.m. candle. So just be aware, right? It's one of those indicators that, again, will work on some days and not on others. Today, it does seem to be that it's paying attention to it. You can call up almost any of the a number of the Magnificent Seven stocks, and that'll be the case. Again, the Nvidia candle so far, right? It's working fairly well for it. But you look at Tesla, and the Tesla range, because it dropped so much, it's well out of that 8 a.m. range. So, again, take it for what it's worth. It's just one of those things that, again, I look at and I say, okay, some days if it works, great, or on some stocks, other days not so much.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Dave, great question. And I get friends too, like going back to the topic, because you guys are into it here. Beautiful question. If you can't teach trading, why would you buy a subscription to Bearable Traders? It's not about us teaching trading. We could teach you trading, but trading, you have to come to it. You have to want to do this, right? If my friend comes over, hey, I want to do what you do, stay home and trade from home and make money from home. That's not teaching you trading. You just want to get the outcome that you're seeing from me. You don't love trading. You don't want to learn trading. You just want to get the outcome. That doesn't work. See, you guys, I would love to teach you because you're here because you want to trade. But to impose trading on like a friend or something, hey, you should do this, and they don't love it, it's not going to work. Trading is too difficult, man. It is too difficult. You can't just pull anybody off from the street and say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make money by trading. It's not going to work. You're going to ruin their life. You got to come to it. You come to me, I'll teach you. You're passionate about it, I'll teach you. I'll mentor you. But I'm just not going to enforce something I know is very difficult. And if you don't have the motivation to want to do it, you are not going to succeed. Simple as that, right? So, we'll be honest with you. It's just what it is, Unfortunate. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture.
Yeah. So Arun, I see your question there. So Carlos is in the U.S. I'm in Canada, so let me answer that for you. You're sort of mixing two terms there. So you're asking what platform I'm using, and then you say IBKR. So a lot of times it does get intermingled because there's actually two parts to it. There's the platform you use to visualize and present data, and then there's the back end. Who's the broker? Who's actually executing the trades for you? And sometimes if you get Robinhood, like it's an integrated system, right? It's really, Robinhood is giving you the charts and the display, and they're also executing your orders. They're actually using third parties, but it doesn't matter. They're hiding it underneath. In my case, I use a direct system access. So we use DAS Trader Pro, DAS Trader Pro, just happens to be the platform that I use. Again, there's a bunch of them out there, but that's the one that I use. But they display the information. They're actually not a broker. They don't execute the trades. As a broker, so where my money actually sits is with IBKR, in my case, right? Interactive Brokers, Canada. But I trade I trade in US dollars. But what they do is they integrate on the back end. So basically, every time I see the information on the screen here, the DAS Trader Pro platform is integrated to IBKR on the back end. They share my trade execution with IB. They actually make the trade, send back the trade confirmation to DAS, and then displays it on my screen. It all happens in, thousandths of a second, so I don't know the difference, but that's what's really happening. So you could take that DAS Trader Pro platform and integrate it with a number of different brokers on the back end. They've got a whole list of them on their website that you can go through. But that's what I use here in Canada to trade, is DAS on the front end with IB on the back end. Hopefully that's helpful.
What's my favorite podcast? Oh man, I have a few. I really enjoy listening to podcasts. So I have a ton. Send me
Do
an
you?
email. I'll send you. Yeah, yeah. I have
I
a
don't
few that I
listen to a
like.
lot. I have to
Yeah.
admit, I'm not a
Oh,
big podcast
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I enjoy them. Like if I'm doing something in the backyard, just cleaning or whatever, I throw one on and it's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So, and they get you hooked, man. Like you
Okay.
start building a relationship. Like you feel like you know the person that you're actually listening to after a couple of episodes, and you look forward to them. So, uh, it's a lot of fun, and you learn a lot.
Okay.
Uh, all right. All right. So far, 0 for 2 from me today. Peter, did you take any trades today? I don't know if you took anything.
I guess
Man,
I'm
you've
zero
been,
for
yeah,
zero,
you've
or
been
I'm infinity for zero because I haven't traded yet. So,
nice,
which is
nice.
good. Like I said, watched a couple of trades, looked to see if they were giving me indicators that I was looking for. They did not, so I'm keeping my powder dry, and that's good for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Look at Apple breaking down, making a new law of the day. Um, let's see. I would love to take another short on Tesla here off the VWAP.
Hmm.
Back to the low of the day. But it's just, I'm not good at these trades, man. I'm really not. Um,
Well, remember that trade we talked about with Thor? I'm pretty confident he's probably still sitting in it because it hasn't come up and hit
yeah,
his exit yet. So,
yeah,
he'll
yep.
just ride it. He's not afraid to just say, "All right, I'm gonna wait for my target or my stop loss." Right? Very
Yeah,
disciplined
yeah.
that way.
He has wide stops. So I can't do
Yeah.
that wide of a stop on, yeah. No. Um, yes, nothing looks great. Intel doesn't look good. What do you guys are watching? Maybe the stuff I'm watching is not great today. What do you guys have on your list over on YouTube?
Yeah, that's a good
Throw some
question.
tickers out. Yeah, because I just keep scrolling through the stuff I have and it all looks the same. Nothing looks great. So let's get some ideas. I know you guys brought up Meta a couple of times, but it looks pretty much similar to, what other tickers are doing here. So nothing beautiful drop, man, on the Meta. But right now, I'm not doing anything. I just stuck on the VWAP. Amazon was very active last couple of days. Let's take a look on Amazon here. Man, everything very similar. You have this drop and this somewhat of recovery to the VWAP, and then we're dancing around a little bit more again, right? So right over this one here. No, sorry, this one. Tesla, Nvidia's probably looks the cleanest, and Apple is brutal. Apple's probably the worst one of all of these today, as far as choppiness. Because if you look at Nvidia, you had a drop and a recovery. Tesla, you had a drop in the recovery. Who else? We saw Meta, same thing you guys mentioned, drop in the recovery. But if Meta, but if you look at Apple, Apple is just bad. it's, it's the worst one at
Apple's
all.
just bad.
It's just bad, man. Oof. Um, Peter Carlos, was the patient you are able to exhibit so well learned through trading, or are there other resources that helped you? My personal life did not help me with patience at all. At all.
No,
No, because
no, neither did
I'm
mine.
very optimistic, and it hurt me big time my first 2 3 years in trading. Because for me it was just average down, it'll come back. Oh, just throw more money at it. Yeah, when that didn't
Yeah.
work, you realize that you can't force your way into the market, no matter how optimistic you are. So there's a few. I always say this. We talk about this a lot in our onboarding class. There's a few characteristics that you have that you cannot, that are great for your personal life, for your marriage, for your, for you as a dad, as a brother, sister, whatever. But you cannot bring those over to trading. They just don't work. They don't translate. Even with your work environment, like we are very risk tolerant. Like we'll take risk at work. We'll come in on a Saturday, do extra hours. We'll do this or that. We'll push and get it done. But those don't work in trading. They really don't. So uh, me personally, I learned the hard way, getting burned a couple of times. Not a couple of times, many
Yeah.
times, getting burned, losing a lot of money. That's another thing too. Like you don't want to force somebody into trading, knowing that one of the requirements is losing a lot of money at times, right? If they're not disciplined, you don't want to have somebody lose money, right? So at first, right, you gotta be able to get through to that. So that's the way I learned, man. Experience getting burned, touching the heater not once or twice, but many, many times, then realizing it's not cooling down. Damn it, stop touching it. That's what took place. Peter, how about for you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're right about that. That there's some skills you can port over from your outside life, some that aren't. In my case, yeah, a lot of the stuff I learned in the corporate world didn't help me a lot. I'm actually risk adverse, so my challenge has been the opposite of most people. Patience isn't the thing I had to learn. Accepting risk is what I had to learn. So I keep this thing on my desk that I show people all the time. My son made this for me one Christmas. It says, "Take the damn trade," right? So you can see it.
Nice.
Take the damn trade. And
Yeah.
and it's hard acrylic in case I want to hit myself or hit something with it. And but the reality is, it reminds me that I've got to, you can't play the game if you don't get into the trade. So I've got detailed criteria, like I mentioned. That's good because it helps me manage that risk perception. But then I actually have to jump in whenever the criteria sets up. So for me, that's been the toughest thing, is actually getting into the trades when I need to. And it's been I know most people are over traders, right? And they have to fight the other side. They just take everything. And then, I sat and watched for years before I could convince myself to take appropriate trades. And I still struggle with that when I fail to pay attention. So, that's one thing. The other thing that was I learned in trading is that trading is much more like an athletic endeavor than it is like a corporate job or others. Corporate jobs are much more forgiving, in my opinion, than this, as opposed to athletics, which are not. What I mean by that is athletics are, what have you done for me recently? It's all about what you put in the field. You could train your ass off, right? You can go and lift weights and become strong and effective and whatever, and practice and practice and practice. All that matters, none of that practice matters. All that matters is what you deliver when you're on the court, the field, the pitch, the whatever, right? Trading is a lot the same way, right? You can practice in sim, you can study reports, you can watch podcasts, you can do YouTube videos, you can set up strategies. None of that matters. All that matters is how you're able to execute when it gets into the market. Unlike a business, career where I was taught, frankly, failure is okay. You're going to fail, a lot. In fact, you can send a lot of emails. You can trade when you can work when you're not feeling good, right? How many times if you had a corporate job, you're like, I don't feel hot today, but I don't really have a lot of meetings and it's just emails. I'm fine. And you can make it through the day, right? You can't make it through a trading day. You've got to be on top of your game, or you're almost guaranteed to give away money. So you really need to sort of be able to identify that in yourself and say, you know what, I'm not on top of my game today. I'm pulling myself out. I'm not letting myself play, to use the sports analogy, right? And being your own coach and being able to do that is tough. That's a skill, again, you don't use in the corporate world because you just always show up. And some days you'll be performing better, some days you'll be performing worse. But as long as it averages out to, decent, you can have a good career. I had to sort of unlearn that in trading, that, if didn't get some good sleep, if I was out partying with friends, if, whatever the excuse is, that I'm distracted, right? Don't trade. Just don't trade. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. So for me, that was one of the big lessons I had to apply. Again, it's easy to say, really hard to do. Really hard to do.
Yeah.
So.
100%, man. I strongly believe a lot of people can be profitable and can get to their goal if they just stick to it. But it's hard. It's hard to stick to it. You don't go it took me three and a half years. You're not going to go 3.5 years. Many people are not going to go 3.5 years without having an income. That's tough. I was fortunate to do it. My wife, does well, and she covered the benefits. But let's say my wife did not have benefits or didn't have a great job, or we had debt, right? If we had a lot of debt, then this wouldn't work. I would not be trading right now. I'd be sitting in the office in New York, but everybody's different. Everybody's different. Situation is different. And one more thing on this too is keep in mind that start part-time. Like, you don't have to completely disconnect yourself from your income. Start part-time, build it slowly, and then see where it goes. Don't put that pressure that you have to be a full-time trader and make your entire income out of trading. Because what trading's going to teach you is, have several incomes, have multiple income revenues. So, so don't keep your job as a revenue, and then, do other things like It is awesome. Now I'm a trader, and I'm like, okay, what other income can I look for to bring in as well, right? So, think in that sense. Think like a businessman, like an entrepreneur. It's very important. So,
Yeah.
um,
Matthew Newcomb. That's what I'm going to call you now, whether that's what you intended that name to be or not. Um, it really only does work with Windows. Like you can use an Apple platform, but or Linux, but it's not native, and you have to use an emulator. And we found that almost all the emulators have challenges at one point or another. DOS is a great program. Like it's very functional and it does a lot of things, but it was written. The core of it was written like decades ago, and it's been built upon and improved. And if you look at it, it doesn't look as modern as some others, by the way, but it's
yeah,
fast,
yeah,
it's effective, and you go in, like just look at the menus, right? There'll be like weird menu items you can tell have been built over time, where it's like click this button to enable the function, and then click this button to disable the function, right? Like
yeah, yeah,
I always point to that, and like trying to find where things sit, they're all in random places in menus and stuff, just because this has been literally developed over decades. So
yeah, yeah.
I said I love it. I think it works well, but yeah, it's. I would strongly suggest that if you're thinking of using that as a platform, that you have a Windows-based device to run it on.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a lot of compute power, by the way, not as much as people think. So yeah, you don't need like a super high-end, mega device. Usually, the biggest compute you need is for the number of monitors you want to run. As long as you've got the graphics capability to run however many monitors. I run a 6 monitor setup for my desktop and a three monitor setup on my laptop for my travel rig.
Mm,
So
yes, that's a
so
lot.
that's so I've got, my laptop has got an external or a separate video card. I don't use the onboard video that typically comes with a laptop. I've got a separate, like an NVIDIA, it's separate card, and it was embedded video display card. Anyways,
Yeah, yeah,
but other than the number of monitors, the compute requirements are relatively low compared to some others. It's Thinkorswim. There's other platforms out there. They have slightly different requirements, but
yeah. They're very bandwidth. Thinkorswim is very bandwidth heavy. Yeah,
and so Nathan, what you're saying, DOS to be primitive, Thinkorswim is a better platform. I agree. It's slicker, right? It looks better. It's
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's slower though, right? It requires a lot more compute power at the user end. And the one of the reasons, I'll just say, in my argument for using DOS, when I travel and I like to travel a lot, DOS is very low bandwidth. So you can use it on a very bad internet line with a better degree of effectiveness than you can use Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim doesn't tolerate high latency as well. So whereas the DOS does, because it uses such low bandwidth. The thing I notice when you travel, it's variability in the bandwidth that you've got to worry about. So if you get a delay rate of like 200 microseconds, that's okay. You can actually trade as long as it's consistent. But if it goes between 50 and 200, up to 300, down to 200 to 100, I will not trade, because that variability means that I can't get reliable feedback on my trading, right? But if it's just consistently almost up to 300 milliseconds, you can do it. But anyways, that's my experience. So and let's face it, I'm an old guy too, so I don't mind the old-fashioned look of DOS. Like it does look like a 1990s, early 2000s program. There's no arguing that. It really does. Now you can configure it to make it look a little prettier, but for
yeah.
the most part, yeah, that's what it is.
It
But
is. I compare it to like a AS400, IBM system AS400. When I first started my 9 to 5 back in 2005, we had this really old system. It was, Peter, you couldn't use the mouse. It was by
yeah,
numbers, like the menu of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You hit 1, then you hit 2, and it's like, but you know
yeah.
what?
Tesla,
When you did it over and over again, you got really fast. Like to get to
yeah.
these menus, it was pretty cool. So
Tesla's breaking down. Did you end up taking that short?
yeah, yep. I'm sure slightly below the VWAP here. I want to get to law of the day. Would be nice.
All right, there you go.
But
Good for you.
but we've been on for a while, man. I'm kind of getting tired. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
yeah.
I'm kind of getting. I'm ready to get up from this chair. But yeah, law of the day. Let's see here if we can get on Tesla. That'd be nice. and we'll see how we go from there. And then Avi and Paris are up next, guys. So they're going to be going. I would love to see what they did today and how they traded, but they're up next here on the channel, and we'll see what their trades look like. But hopefully you guys caught something. Again, not an easy day. If you struggle today, just don't force it. This market will get back to some really good trading again. We just got to be patient. And wait for the setup here. And someone mentioned earlier too, they were struggling. You know what they did? They just reduced their risk. They would still want to trade. They still see some signals, but their signals might not get continuation. They just reduced their risk, to kind of protect their capital, which is very smart actually. Let's see here. Friends over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, love a thumbs up. We got a nice group, 737 people watching, but only 245 likes, I think. Let me refresh. So just help us out. I mean, it does help the algos. It helps YouTube do some stuff there, and we really, really appreciate it. It's funny, speaking of platforms, I have all of them. I have, not all of them, but I have many of them. I have Thinkorswim. I have Robinhood, I have Interactive Brokers, TWS, and again, they all have their great features that they're good at. It depends on what you're looking to do. So Thinkorswim I love, by the way. I started with Thinkorswim before Dash Trader Pro, before Bearwood Traders, and Thinkorswim is an amazing platform for what they're good at. I had Robinhood as well. For what they're good at, swing trading, options, all this stuff they're really, really good at. So I have them for that. All right, let's see Tesla. I'm going to be very aggressive here. I'm not going to let it come back even to my break even, because I want to trade with some profits today, so that'll be nice. Let's see if we are going to not bounce here. We're going to jump right out of it. If we're not going to continue, excuse me.
Yeah, this could be a longer. Yeah, this could be one you might just put with some range orders. Do you use range orders? You willing to do that?
Not often. If I have to step away and leave the house, yes, I'll put a range order on. If I have to do something else, I'll do that. But my problem is I like to watch my trades, Peter. So even though I put a range order, I'm constantly coming back and saying, "What are we doing?" So that's I don't do that with the swing trades though. Like QBTS, I could go 2 days without looking at it. Or Apple, right. American Airlines, but the day trades, I like to look at the price action, so it's just weird. I was telling me the same thing. Just put a range order. I'm like, I could, but I'm just gonna still look at it. So we'll see. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, people do forget to hit the like, and I get it. I hate asking for likes, man. I really do. But I know people do forget to hit it because we just get into the conversation, right? We're having a good time here. We're getting to the conversation. We're getting to our trades. Nobody got time to hit the like button, but it helps, So that's so. I agree. I'm with you. I don't have time to hit the like button. What's this guy talking about? Some people might even be having their phone like a desk away and they have their headphones on, right? They're not even looking at the screen, but they're hearing it, right? So I get it, man. I get it. I'm with you. So that's the only reason I bother and harass you guys. It's just for that. But I know you guys are in there supporting us. Just the fact that you're on here, really appreciate it. It helps us a ton. Come on, Tesla, break down. Let's get a good trade in here. As we reach 11 o'clock and the chopness continues. Intel, the IonQ sideways, not much going on. If the SPY breaks down, it can help our costs here. Yeah, I'm still in. I'm in. Well, not still in it. Not on the first one. The first one we got stopped out. I remember that. So we went here. Can you see it? Short here. Stopped out. In here again. It's hard to see because it's red on red. But it's right here. Oh, I'm not even showing you the guys the right screen. I'm so sorry. Here it is. I'm writing on the different screen. So short here. Stopped out. Short again. Looking for the low. I said the low of the day, but the low of this here. I'll be very happy if we get here. Right, so kind of like where we're seeing some support. We'll definitely take a partial here if we can get it. So let's see what happens. So I got a. I always make fun of these cups. My wife has a bunch of these. So this is an actual the Stanley looking cup. This is a Fanley. It's not a real one. So she bought this like at the $5 store, or whatever. But we do got the actual Stanleys. Let me get over here. Here we go. We do have the real ones too, right? So this is the real one. This is the fake one. And man, I'm not a big fan of people walking around with this huge ass cup, but they are very useful when you're driving. They really are. You want to pack some water? This thing is actually pretty good.
I've
Gets the
got
job
one
done.
that I got one similar to that.
Mhm.
It's this big buddy. The problem is it doesn't fit in any cup holder in any vehicle I've ever been in. So
This
I
is
don't
why you
use it
get
when I'm
this one.
going somewhere.
This fits
But
right in.
this one is great. It's an actual thermos brand, and it's
Yeah.
Costco buy. It's anyways, it works great. Keeps your water cold, hot if you want, or whatever.
No, it works. It works. I like the handle. See, when you're driving, just kind of grab the handle and just go. So the handle is this is a man handle here. This is like this is what
That's
you
a
want.
manhandle.
That's a manhandle, baby. Yes. But you're not gonna see me walking with the mall with this thing or anywhere outside where not walking with this big thing.
I have to admit, yeah. See, I usually use this at home. I bring it if I'm going out to play a sport or something, and I can leave it around. But I have a pet peeve, I have to admit, with like people overhydrating. Like my wife will go for
Yeah.
a walk. And she's like, "Well, we're gonna go for like let's go for a walk, just like 45 minutes." And then she'll bring a water bottle with her. I'm like, I don't. It could be 120 degrees out there. You are not going to dehydrate in 45 minutes. You're just not. You're just not. Like
If you've been hydrating properly
drink
throughout the
when you
day,
get
the day before, if you drink water properly, you'll be fine. Yeah, but
like if we're going on a 4-hour hike, okay, yeah, we bring some water with us. That just makes sense. But come on, people. Most of the stuff we do in life, you're not going to dehydrate. Anyways,
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah.
Sorry. Rant. Old man rant.
oh man,
Old man
right?
rant. Yeah. But we get used to it. We get into this thing where we convinced ourselves, oh, I need water like every minute, every second of the day. Anyways, all right. Anyway. Moving on.
I agree with you. I think that's right. But I'm this person that does drink water, and I will take a bottle of water with me if I'm going out for a walk. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But I agree. I might not need it, but it's just a thing we do, So I'm sticking with your wife on this side. I'm just going on her side today.
I'm not saying you don't need to drink water. Drink water. Drink water throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good for you. It's good for your health. Like, yeah, no, I drink like, I don't know, 3 liters of water a day. I drink lots of water.
Right.
But if you're just going out to do something, like you don't need to constantly have your comfort cup with you at all times.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyways, I'm going to get into an argument for no reason.
I hope your wife is watching.
Yeah, no.
Peter.
Yeah, exactly. She's getting angry at me.
Do
right,
I move my stats to break even? I do, Kevin. When I take a partial, I do move it to break even. But on this one, I don't want to take another L on this one. We're up right now by a little bit, so I'll probably get stopped out of break even if it goes to it. Also, I'm tired, so I want to go, get up from here, take a break. As Avi and Paris are going to come in here and take you guys through the next hour or so from 11 to 12. So pretty good stuff. Peter, you have something to say?
No, sir, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Peter drinks shots. He does that too.
Actually, that's often a misunderstanding because I like to drink whiskey, scotch, and please don't drink it as a shot. Like just enjoy it. If you're drinking it as a shot, you're wasting scotch, or you're drinking crappy scotch and then don't bother. That's my opinion. So, I might sip quickly, I'll admit. I tend to. You come to my house, if I give you a glass of scotch, I'm like, oh, here, you need to try this. It's going to be like a 3-ounce pour minimum. I just can't. I pour 1 ounce into a glass, and I'm like, I'm barely covering the bottom with this. I can't get this. This is insulting to my guest. Anyway, so yeah, my home pours. Like if I'm
do
pouring,
good pours at Peter's house.
Yeah. if I give like a small drink for the evening that I'm gonna have like some whiskey, it's probably 5 ounces in there. I don't measure it,
Yeah.
so I don't know, but yeah, it's a good pour.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it is Tesla back to my break even. I still believe this is gonna sell off, but like you said, Peter, I might just need to wait on this one, and I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm willing
yeah.
to
It's
wait.
unfortunately it is coming back
Yeah.
here. Little double bottom, midpoint
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you here in
So
one
guys,
minute.
no trades for me. I still haven't found anything.
Yep.
Bubba, remember I was talking about that earlier. It never
Mm-hmm.
retested. So yes, it did pull back, but I didn't get my double top, so that didn't set up for a trade. So yeah,
Yep. Yep.
nothing right now that I'm actively tracking that is imminently going to give me a trade opportunity.
Yeah.
Yama, I support the 3 Ws. If you're talking about the 3 Ws that I talk about, then yes, I do. I always joke, and literally, there are literally only 3 things I drink: water, whiskey, and wine. So I stick to the 3 Ws. I don't drink soft drinks. I don't drink coffee or tea. Water, whiskey, and wine. That's all I drink.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta get these guys links. Hold on a second. I gotta get Avi and yeah, forget. Gotta get them links to be able to join. Just give me 1 second. Let's move this out of the way and get them set up here to join us. You can't just knock on the door. Okay, here we go.
Probably in that order too. Interesting. Water, whiskey, wine.
Water,
I'm just thinking about that.
whiskey,
Anyways,
wine.
never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
That's probably the frequency, not by volume. By volume, it's probably water, wine, whiskey, because you just drink a lot more wine per sitting, right? But no beer. I'm not a beer drinker, so I don't drink beer. Yeah, never liked beer. Watching AMD
Yeah,
here.
I'm a beer guy.
AMD might want to
I like
go
beer.
back to low of day. Tough to tell. I don't really see any strong indication, but it's leaning that way. Yeah.
Man, can you believe we're just less than a couple of days from Vancouver? It's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Def, I know. I'm Canadian, and I lived in Australia for a period of time, and Australians are pretty good beer drinkers too. They were stunned as well. They're like, I don't understand. How is this possible? Well, occasionally it happens. I'm the aberration. I gotta figure out what I want for lunch. Really,
Yeah. I love these messages. Like, who falls for this stuff? Hi, I'm Darlene, recruiting representative at Amazon. First of all, Amazon is not going to text your personal number. It's just not going to happen. I have your resume. I don't even have a resume. I'm a day trader. What are you talking about? What resume? Whatever you have is incorrect. And I can make $50 to $500 per day. $50 to $500 per day. Base salary of $800 in 4 days. Here's my number. Jesus Christ. Report junk. Yeah. But they do it because they catch people. People fall for it,
I know.
unfortunately. You know,
People
that's why
fall
they're
for
so
it all the
aggressive.
time.
Yeah. It's a shame. This is why when, we all go through good and bad times, right? Like I've been through desperate times with my finances, with my wife before trading, like when we were younger. Like you go through difficult periods in your life for finance. When you're desperate, is not the time to make some weird decisions, right? Because desperation is where a lot of destruction happens, man. You start getting desperate, you make bad decisions. So when things are bad, just, make sure you think things through over and over again, and never make a decision where you have to decide right away. No, nothing needs to be decided right away. You could sleep on it, take a couple of days, and make sure you do make the right decision. Speak with someone. Don't make it a decision on your own. It's a lot. It's a lot that happens when people are desperate. You never want to make decisions when you're in that situation. That's important. Life lessons from Peter's and Carlos podcast coming up in a few weeks.
Very true, yeah. Well, and people are asking, Carlos, you shared your story. For those that may be new on YouTube to us, we have an advantage, if you will, getting into trading, that we had the opportunity to do it without a lot of financial stress. I retired first. Now I retired very young, but I did retire before I decided to actively day trade. And I got into active day trading because I had been a day trader 20 years ago, 25 years ago now, more than that, I hate to admit, but and decided to just get back into it. But I'd made the decision to retire first, so like I have no debts, I have no bills. I'm not pressured to pay the mortgage or anything. It's sort of it's an easier life because I was able to use this as an opportunity to increase my standard of living and my income, not depend upon it. So it's tough when you're under pressure, right? If you have that pressure
Yeah.
of paying rent or whatever on top of just trying to make money, whoa, that's hard. That is
Yeah.
really hard. Like you're exponentially increasing the difficulty of trading successfully. You really are.
100%. Um, I'm gonna see if I can get Abby. Oh, hey, there it is. I see Abby. Good. Yeah. Yep. 100%. 100%. All right, friends, we are set. Avi's setting up here. I can see him getting going. He's going to get his screen up and running, and we'll get Avi and Paris to join a little bit later. Paris is running just a couple of minutes late. Are you retired too? I don't consider myself. No, I didn't. I got retired. My job retired me. No,
Right.
my job I was with that company for 12 years, right? So quick story. Some of you guys might have heard it, so I won't go too much detail. But I was with my company for 12 years, man, and I love my job. Like if they did not relocate to Kentucky, I would not be trading because I love what I did, man. I was there for 12 years, went from entry level all the way to senior manager in operations, build my entire team from scratch because we relocated from the city to New Jersey. So I had to hire everyone. So everyone there I hired. So I had a really good connection with, and I got people obviously that were very great at what they do and really nice people for the environment. I loved it. I would not go to day trading, but when they relocated, they gave me a 2 year notice, severance package, payout for 2 years, and vacation time. So that's what allowed me to get into trading. So I had a nice little buffer. I had a nice buffer to get into trading, and not have to like get into a 9 to 5 right away. So they retired me basically. But if they did not relocate, man, I would still be in that job. I really love what I do. Like on the weekends, I'm ready for Monday. I'm ready to go back to work and start solving problems. It was that type of gig. So, you know, it's a shame, but glad it happened. I'm here with you guys now, so that works too.
There you go.
All right, Peter. Thanks for being on,
No
and
worries.
myself as well. And we got Avi. Avi's next. Good morning, Avi. How you doing? Let me make sure I can hear you.
Hey Carlos, hey Peter, I'm good. How you guys doing?
Avi, morning.
Good morning. Good evening from here, but good morning to you.
Yes,
That's right.
indeed.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. Always evening for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, what an
Awesome.
How's your
interesting
day?
day.
Have you? This is a sort of a range day, so this might set up for you again quite nicely.
Yeah, I've had a fun day. I had one big trade and then a few losers here and there, and one where I couldn't stop out, wouldn't exit. So that was a
Oh.
nuisance.
Oh
But
wow.
sitting at about break even now, and still plenty of opportunities. So I'm very much alert.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah. Hey guys on YouTube, how y'all doing today? A lot of fun here with Carlos and Peter as always. Day trading and entertainment all together.
Absolutely.
The edutainment approach, absolutely. So,
Gotta love this. Wow.
all right, guys,
So,
I'm still looking for my first trade of the day. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a slow morning for me.
Yep.
oh yes, it'll set up. I think it's gonna be yeah, I just think today just looks opportunistic to my eyes. I mean, lots of opportunities just from the open
Mm,
till now, and at least
okay,
things, the more I look at things, the more it looks like setups are coming. But maybe that's just me.
right. No, that's see, that's good. That's everybody's sort of got a different perspective on the markets, and that's what I love about it, right?
Yeah, fun. I'm in a SPY short right now, guys, off of the most recent rejection of 557.27, right about there. It just popped up. It's sitting around about my break even at the moment. Let's see if it continues down. I'm looking for it to basically go all the way through low of day and further. So I think it's all bearish down to 554 down in that area. But cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. That'll be the low of the day, right?
Yeah, low and lower. We got JC Trader. What have you got here? Used my strategy again and got a good short. Hey, good for you, man. Congratulations. And thanks for your script on TOS the other day. It's uploaded in our BBT room. Everyone's got access to it now. Much appreciated. So if you guys don't know, JC Trader 81 here in YouTube created a script within Thinkorswim that basically puts the study on the chart, which is the study I've got on my charts right here using measured moves off of the 8 a.m. candle. And that's now available for everyone to use. So the power of the community. Fantastic.
Indeed.
SK, yeah, that's posted in the room drive in our BBT chat room. When you log in there, you'll be able to see a little tab near the top of the screen that says files. You click on there and you'll see all these various files that a lot of us have uploaded. And this was uploaded in there this morning. So there you go. So Peter, no short on AMD this morning? None of that
Nope.
stuff?
No, not for me. So far, it's just waiting and watching. Similar to yesterday, actually.
Wow.
Which I,
And
again, these are the types of days that work well for you, not so well for me. That's unfortunately the way it goes.
yeah, that's just how the market goes. Sometimes I used to, there was a while when I used to pick the days I'd trade based on the day of the week and the day of the season. In the summer, I'd be off a lot more, various things.
Right.
And I figured every day that I picked to trade is just not the day for me. It's just not the strategy I was using at the time. It's just nothing worked.
Right.
And that was frustrating. So I went the other way, just flipped it on its head. Okay, keep the strategy, but trade the days that look like they're no good. That didn't work
Right.
either. So that was part of the learning curve about 3 or 4 years ago. And I realized, you know what? It's not the day. You got to just pay attention to the price action. Just forget all that other stuff. Just focus in. Stop
Right.
looking at
Right.
things that don't really matter. Things that matter are, can you read the
That's
action?
funny.
Can you read the indicators? Yeah,
Well,
you
you
can
bring
almost
up an
get.
interesting point, and
Go ahead.
something akin to what we were talking about earlier. That in finding your own strategy can often be challenging because you go through those trials and errors, right? Like as you said, you thought, okay, well, maybe it's these days. Okay, maybe it's these days, and sometimes you got to try things. And say, okay, well, that wasn't it. That wasn't a condition that made a difference or made sense to me. So you reject that, and you move on to something else. So I love that. It's part of the process.
Yep, absolutely. Part of the process. And you got to survive the learning curve, survive the
Yeah,
process. People who
exactly.
do, they have the opportunity to get into it. I'm curious here about an Amazon short now. This is setting up. This just popped up on my screen. Looking at this. Ah, it's already gone. Ugh. Just as I looked at it, it jumped. Here, you guys, I'll show it to you on the screen. What I have here is you have this the low here of the pre-market consolidation. It broke out the retest. So I'm looking at the retest. There you go. Just did it in the last 1 minute. And short would have been a little further up. Anyway.
Avi,
Hello, Paras. Welcome. I was worried about you today.
All right, guys. I was just sticking around to make sure Abby can. I'm sure that Paris can
Yep.
connect. So we'll leave you to it, friends. Guys on YouTube, we'll see you guys again tomorrow. We'll leave you with Avi and Paris. Take care.
Yeah. Good morning,
awesome.
everybody.
Thank you,
Good
Carlos.
morning, Paris.
Hey, Peter, you are here too.
just as the crossover, but yeah, I miss you, buddy. It's been a while since we traveled to Colombia together. So
I know, and the best roommate I ever had. So,
there you go. I appreciate that. You too. It was fantastic. So, anyways, you guys have a good morning. Carlos and I, we've been at this for a while. We're gonna go take a break. So take it away.
awesome. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Carlos.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
What is
Hey,
up,
Paras.
Avi? How is everything going?
All is good. All is moving smoothly. So far, so good. Can't complain. How about you? You look happy.
Man, I killed it. I had a fantastic day today. So, uh, I traded. I think the reason I'm happy about is I planned my reversal today. So I usually reversals are not my my forte or something, that I'm not good with reversals. I'm good with breakouts, but today I planned my trade of taking a reversal, and it worked out great. So so that's what I'm happy about. So it's
Love it, love it. So you planned it. Let's see this. I want to see
so
how you
yeah,
do.
let me share my screen. Uh,
Hmm. I'm in this short and SPY right now, still holding. It's very
oh,
curious,
your
very
short spy.
yeah. I'm looking for the low of day and through 555 because that's the contract I've got. That's the strike, and it's gonna go weaker. There it is. Let's see. Still watching. So well, this is getting really heavy right now. Anyways, yeah, let's see what you've got here. I'm curious about reversals. I always love reversals.
So let me know if you guys should be able to see my screen.
There we go.
So I want to talk about my forte first, and then I'll talk about my reversal. So forte is basically I trade breakouts, right? And this is a clear opening, and Intel came up, so there was a catalyst behind it. Intel was in my watch list, and I was wanting to trade. The reason, the catalyst was that they appointed a new CEO. Actually, they bought back the previous CEO, which everybody in the stakeholders who were on the Intel, they were very happy with that, and that's why it was gapped up close to like 12%. And Intel has been a beaten down stock. So today, gap up means a lot of things. And even in the pre-market, it was actually, if you look at it, this was the pre-market. Uh, the stock was gapped up. This scaled out really nice. The news came out yesterday. It was doing a pullback, and now it's coming to the breakout area. What I want to see is I want to see it pull back again, and then buyers stepping in very quickly. That's what and initially this is what Andrew trades. This is like a Andrew's setup, where he is very good at taking with very heavy size, and I learned from him on how he trades these breakouts. And yeah, so that's exactly what I did. It pulled back, but when the volume came in right here, and it did an engulfing, and if you have heard Andrew talking about it, how he's very specific about the candles engulfing and then the volume coming in and then scaling out. And this is usually the trade where you want to take when it makes sense too. You're gapped up a stock, all the short sellers are also trapped, and when it breaks out on the 2-minute breakout or a 5-minute breakout, so this is opening range. If this breaks out, that's where you want to go heavy because all the short sellers are trapped. Second, the new buyers are going to step in. And once this candle closes, this is an engulfing candle. And once this candle closes above the opening range, and a lot of buyers would step in right here. And it would very quickly squeeze to the upside. And this is the squeeze that you're looking for. And a stock that is $23 and capturing close to $1 out of it, that's a big deal. Like that's like a how much 5% move in a matter of 5 minutes. That's it. Yeah, and 5% move in a matter of 5 minutes is crazy, right? Like capturing that 5% move, and that's what I was thinking. And now I was thinking that okay, now if it comes back and pulls back, this is where I would be willing to add at the VWAP because the stock is strong. If the SPY is strong too, this can actually make an go high and break the 25 level. But it did not happen that way. And I got and the whole reason I even did not even wait for my break even stop was because the volume dried down. Usually when it pulls back and the buyers are trying to step in, you tend to see a volume increase rather than decrease. But the volume was completely decreasing overall. I did see some indication right here, was thinking of getting back in, but after that, just one candle right here, there was again, the volume was kept decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. So there was no reason for me to get back in again. So that was my Intel trade. This was one and done on the day. I did not sorry, that I traded Tesla as well. So this was one and done overall in terms of the P&L because I was heavy size on this. So it worked out really well. Now I want to talk about Tesla. So Tesla, there were two areas that I was very much interested in. Let's talk about Tesla. So there were two areas that I was very much interested in. today, first is the opening range break up overall. And what I like doing is, so these levels, 246 and 235, 236, these were two levels that I was very much interested in. Why? Let's look at it. Let's do this. Let's zoom in. Yeah, my system is hanging. So if you look at yesterday's price action on Tesla, of course, it was very choppy, but two things that I could get was 150. Every single time it went above 150, it kept getting rejected. So that is one thing that I want to see that, sorry, 250 getting rejected. So that's why that's one of the levels that I'm very much interested in. And also 246 was the area where every single time it came in, that was always bought back. And today it was gapping up, then down, then holding, and now it was above 246. So one basic tendency is I want to see some buyers stepping in at 246. If they don't step in, that's where I have to get out. So 246 was the area that I was very much interested. I did see a little bit of buyers stepping in once I went long at this point, at this area, and there was a little bit of bounce, which is a $1 bounce. But if that bounce has to happen, or if the buyers are aggressive, they would very quickly squeeze to the upside to 250. But it never happened. And the second it dropped the low of the day, and that's why, like, okay, there's no reason for me to be a part of it, and that's why I got stopped out. So that's usually the breakout trade and trading those levels overall. But now look at the reversal that I was thinking. So reversal, why was I interested on this? Is that if you look at the previous day level, so I was very interested. So the worst case scenario, I was thinking, okay, it pops up, then bounces from 246, goes higher, or it could come back to 235, which is the day before yesterday's high, and every single time it rejected this area of 235 and 236 right here two times, and then when it gaps up, then it just continues to rally. So that was the area that if it sells off heavily at this point, this is a very good bounce area. So 235, 236 was very much interested, and the confirmation came in. So it's not blindly waiting for that level to hit. The confirmation came in with this capitulation. You see this candle? This one right here, this candle, you have to see this tape here. This candle, just watch the tape at this point. I swear to God, I wanted to get into at 234. But because I'm bad at reversals, I wanted to give some time for me to confirm, because what it says is it shows a lot of strength and then continues to go down. So I wanted to get more confirmation before I get in. So that's what very strong capitulation candle. That's where it came in. And then I said, okay, now it's holding. Let me go and try for the VWAP. The first time it popped up, sold some, stop. I did not like the way the tape was doing it. It was a perfect 920 trade that Brian talks about, and then now it was selling off. But then the next trade on the reversal that I was thinking, okay, now the levels, again, there was a bounce at this with volume. So this here was again a bounce, and it kept holding the 236 area, which was my interest area of getting in. And that's when, I got in, scaled out, and now we're very quickly popped to VWAP, and then try to add more for a continuation, but then it stopped out break even. So that was the trade I took on Tesla reversal. So yeah, those trades on Tesla and Intel.
Nice job. Nice planning. You got that
Yeah.
reversal. You got the big catch on INTC. I mean, that's great stuff, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
There you go, guys. Way to do it. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian Sam SoCal.
Yeah, there you go. I've just taken a short on Meta. I think it's going to take a little bit to really get going. It's a tricky spot, not a big size yet. I want to scale into it as it goes, but for now, it's on.
So what is Meta doing? Meta sold off.
Yes, it's very weak. I'm looking for below 594. 593.50 is my target zone. So basically, I'm looking at a consolidation and continue. So that's good. And yeah, I just took the profits on the SPY as well as you were talking there. So that was a solid one.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, that was nice and short. So here you go, guys. I'll show you some of these ones that I did today. Where do I pull them up from? We got Tesla. There we go. Let's get on to Tesla. Let's get the screen up and running here. Where? Let me know when you get the screen up. Just a moment, guys. Yeah, so Meta's sitting there. And anyone catch Amazon about 10 minutes ago when I was talking about it with Peter? It moved nicely. I missed that one, but it moved.
What did Amazon do?
It was a nice little rejection about 10 minutes ago, 15
Hmm.
minutes ago.
From
Moved very.
196.50.
Yes, that's where I was looking at it, and I was too late to catch it, but it moved. It was good. Cool. All right, we got Pars's screen up here. So when my screen's up, I'll share with you guys what I'm looking at here. But anyways, yeah, fun, man. Again, another day where I just think it's opportunistic. There's all kinds of moves for all kinds of strategies all day today. At least again, the way I see it. So I feel like I'm gonna stand here all day just taking trades. It's one of those days. Just because you can. Might as well, right? If you can, you must. Let's see. So cool.
So I don't know what. So Carlos will have to change it. I think
Yeah,
maybe he
he'll
would
he'll
be
be
taking
back.
a break or something.
Yeah, when he's back, we'll change it around. No big deal.
Mhm.
But that was cool. Multiple strategies on that for you. You had INTC at the open, and then later on the reversal. That's great, man. Versatility, different
Yeah,
market.
I'm trying to work on reversals. I've been seeing Andrew take those heck of a reversals recently, and he's so good at it. I've been trying, and that's the whole thing. When I want to learn something, I like watching recaps on what Andrew does. I've researched Andrew's recaps for years and years on how amazingly he captures those moves, and then I combine and create something of my own. You can always you can always learn from someone who is better than you and create your own setup. And and Andrew has been capturing those reversals. Like I'm so bad at those reversals, and I definitely because that's the time usually 10:30 to 11:30. That's the time where usually reversals occur. Um, and yes, and that I don't have a playbook after that. So after 10:30, I tend to you know do some either reckless behavior or do some kind of a continuation patterns which don't really work. The breakouts are really good at working immediately at 9:30 to 10:30. But reversals usually happen between 10:15 and 11, some around that area. So yeah, so I'm trying to get better with reversals to capture them. And they're hard to find because reversals are you are trying to catch a falling knife, right? Or you're trying to catch the top or the bottom. Because reversals, it's you are trying to go against the trend or when you're trying to take a reversal. And that's tricky. So uh, either you have to play small with those or try to be ready to take a couple of hits before you capture those real moves. So I can't go heavy. Like even today, oh, okay. So Avi, your screen is up. I was trying to.
Alrighty, cool. No, very valid point. If you're trying to figure out something, find someone who knows what they're doing, and then pick the bones out of that, and
Yeah.
off you go. That's exactly what the community is all about, BBT, and that's why I learned everything as well. So, same structure. Let me just put stops into these trades I've got open now, and all right, there we go. So Tesla, very simple. At the open, in the pre-market, I see a pretty tight range that's engulfed by these highs and lows of the 8 a.m. candle. So I'm looking for a breakout of this range. It happened at the bottom side. So on the 1 minute up here, as it started to break out, I got the entry of the breakout and it did a nice retest confirming the breakout. You can even tighten the stop and add in that area, and then you go for the bottom. That was the whole thing. And where is the options I bought? I did it with put options. Here it is.
Nice, man. That
Getting in.
Abhinachi levels are like bang on.
Yeah, they work. They work nicely. I added in quite heavily as the breakout happened and kept retesting. And then for the last little pop where I thought that would be the end of it,
Mhm.
I got in heavier with it was break even at that point to get a little pop out of it.
Hmm.
Got the majority out there and held a little bit for, even further, and it just popped into the level and came back. But that whole thing worked out. That was nice for about, what, 25K, so that's okay.
Very
It's nice about
nice.
scaling in. You don't really, add risk. You just keep bringing the stop in tighter until you're ready to exit. So that one worked. That was fun. And then I've been playing with the SPY more than anything else. What did I get on the SPY? I got the SPY. Gosh, where am I looking? I got too many things open right now. The SPY, yeah, that's been interesting. Where did I get short? I got short somewhere. You can see how messy the SPY is, but you have the 8 a.m. candles. But then zooming in on the 1 minute, here's what I noticed. You got the bottom of this opening range, right? It's just super messy and choppy, hard to trade. Then you have this breakout and it goes down, then it comes back up in there, it rejects that area, and then comes back down to the bottom of the opening range. Now, that line I got was just based on the 1 minute candlestick chart, just on the opening range. So you have a breakout, retest all here, down, back in massive rejection. And then I'm interested to go short after it breaks out again, like it did earlier, and retest like it did earlier and go. So I got the short in this area somewhere. Let me see where the chart is. Oops. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I still have the trade open. Here it is. So stopped out once earlier and then got into a tighter position with a tight stop. And that thing moved, got the majority of it out and added some and still going. So there you go. There's SPY. So those were the two big winners today. Both of them very, very nice. The unfortunate one, which is really troublesome, was actually Apple because I couldn't exit the position. Here's the Apple chart. Basically, I went short at the open and it's not working out, so get stopped out quickly. And my stop was at about what, 215.20 or so, right up here. By the time I stopped out, it was way up here. It was like 215.80. I wasn't able to get liquidated with these options. And I'll show you what that looks like. This was a disaster because by the time I was liquidated, I was out with what, 2 times the amount that I'd planned to lose on the trade. So that's me getting short. And the stop was basically in this area, about 150 on the contracts. But by the time I was able to get liquidated, it went way past. And so that was instead of 1 hour, it became basically a 2 hour loss or something more. So that's a bit of a dangerous thing with options, guys. So you have the spread and liquidity. And listen, this is Apple. This has heavily actively traded options. You don't really think about this stuff when you're talking about Apple. Of course, you can get in and out with options, but clearly not today, not at least in this instance. So you guys get all excited about options and all that. Please be careful. You can see this was a disaster. So other than that, a couple other small hits sitting nicely green today with the two winners. I have the Meta short on right now. I have the SPY short on right now. And these are just kind of, sit and forget or put and forget trades. Forget about them, let them run. And there it is, the SPY. And yeah, so just let them run. Anyways, so yeah, that's it. Not too much in my trading today. Fairly straightforward. Just wait for the candles to get to the levels. And if they behave nicely at the levels, then you go with it. And I just do it via options. If they don't behave nicely, guess what you do? You don't touch it. You go have a coffee, come back, wait for another one. So, anyways, that's that. Nice day. Still a very nice day. There we go. SPY's working, Meta's working. Woo, these are short. Anyone else short right now?
Very nice, very nice, Avi.
Meta, yeah, there it is. I got in about a few minutes ago. Now it's on its way. The target's down there. Oh, that's already heavy. That's a heavy position. Didn't realize how heavy it was. SPY as well is working. I'm still in a decent size on the SPY. Look at that. The selling's right there. And I put on a different level on the chart today. I put on, when I'm in the short, I put on where I thought the recent buyers were, and it just happens to be yesterday's low right there. That line, yesterday's low. I'm looking at that. I'm in the short and I'm really paying attention to that because those buyers are going to want to defend themselves. And I'll take some off, and if it continues from there, then I'll add it back for the rest of the move down to 550, 150. So there it goes. Meta now getting there as well. Going towards, was it 594? Man, these numbers are so big. I can't even read them properly. Okay, so now I can tighten up the stops. There you go. Meta's tight. SPY is very tight already. There we go. Fun. Fun. Yeah, these levels are fun, guys. Meta is tricky, I gotta say. I haven't been able to find reliability with Meta on these levels because it just blows right through them all the time. But I guess this time of the day, you can see now it's just respecting them. So I'm using them. And in between, the tricky part is in between levels, you don't mess with it. You don't enter. And if you're in it, you don't add or do anything else. Just the easy way to do it is just let it be. Whatever happens in between the levels is none of your business. You only care about the levels. That's the entry and that's the exit. So when I do it that way, most of the time it's more profitable. I just don't have that discipline yet to do it that way. I keep adding in too much sometimes. And then yeah, but it works. Well, there we go. Love Preet, what you got here? The trading style has given you the best conviction till now. This style so far, yeah. You've seen me go through multiple styles in the last 3 years or so, fractal patterns and all that. But this style is basically fractal patterns, but with naked charts. So this is the recent addition. Rather than going with the 5-minute naked charts and doing all that, I just find this easier. Much more conviction on positions. You can actually put on size and don't be too worried about it. Anyways, yeah. So fun times as always. You see
Yeah,
anything else going on here, Paris?
I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, he's a Python developer and everything. And I was
Mm.
talking about it that if I give you this chart and I plot some Fibonacci levels, try it, do like just place orders on my behalf on SPY and the Max 7 stocks. That's the only thing, right? It's a straightforward thing, right? But it
Yeah.
works. And uh, yeah, I'm gonna do some back testing and like doing some and then provide you some update. I think it would be a very successful one too, I think. And
That's nice.
yeah, it seems to be working like crazy. I am very impressed with the way uh and this thing, like especially with tape reading and setups and even the way that momentum trades, you don't know when the momentum comes in. But when you can very much, like with the kind of plans that you have and you make, I think it's very simple, and it doesn't things have that doesn't have to be complex to make money. And you are a clear example of how simplicity can generate some continued revenue out of it, right? So I think that's something that people should start with. Start the simulating something that you are doing and make your own what makes sense to you.
Mm.
Like you have a very specific strategy. I have a very specific strategy. Thor has a different strategy. Every single, but like Peter was talking about his mountain pass, and everybody, has their different strategy, and everybody's making money. The bank is not gonna ask you on what strategy did you use for just lending you money or letting you have the money. It's just end of the day, the money matters. It doesn't matter where it comes from, of course, from the legal source. but
Yeah.
but yeah, learn from everybody, but create something your own. You always start with something, learning from someone, but you have to create something that makes sense to you, because only then the conviction would come in. The conviction wouldn't come in if somebody asked me to trade based on Avi's levels. The conviction won't come in because I do not have confidence over it. But if and same with Avi, if Avi is like somebody tells me that, so somebody tells Avi that trade like Paris, the conviction won't come in the way he trades with the bad big of a size in options. So you have to learn from everyone and see which one are you more confident about, and trade accordingly. And the confidence comes through either the forward testing, like you journal your trades, look back, how much is your win rate, how are you performing, and then eventually that confidence build up.
Yeah, absolutely. It got to make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you got to start somewhere. And again, you have plenty of examples of plenty of different styles. Just Paris and myself are two different styles completely. So, you have plenty of places to start from, start wherever makes sense for you and evolve it because you need conviction. Remember, you're going to risk your money on it. So, and you're not going to do it properly. You're going to struggle to risk your money on it if you don't have conviction on it and you understand why it should work or why it shouldn't, what are the probabilities, all that stuff. For sure, for sure. Very important point. And Paris, you find someone with an algo who can make this stuff work on levels, you tell me. I'll get in on that. And some automated trading. I mean, I have no idea how that works, but that would be good.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna do that for
That
sure.
would be,
Because
yeah.
I was trying to get something that the other folks do in the thing that is very clear cut idea. but it's just that everybody's trading with the momentum ways or something that can't be, you have to sit at your desk to be able to do that. But your style of trading is you don't have to be at your desk. You put your orders in based on what your and they're very simplistic, and I think you win because of the risk reward
Mhm.
start, like your risk reward is in your favor.
Mhm.
And you are very, your executions are very robotic, and they generate money. And but you have very specific criteria to get in, very specific criteria to get out. You have a very straightforward levels of, and things are simple, and which can be definitely be, there's a model that can be generated out of it.
Awesome. So we'll retire and go to the Cayman Islands and just chill.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
let the, I've met people like they have their automated systems and they showcase, and I'm up this much. They're not even trading, so the computers are trading for them.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's pretty cool watching those guys.
yeah,
Yeah, I met a
yeah, we
gold
would be there.
trader here in Dubai, and he was doing stuff like that, just trading gold and like risking $50,000 per trade, but it's mostly an algo that he's created, and hedge funds pay him to trade their money, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was something else. So yeah, there's the world is big. There's plenty of opportunities. Cool.
So Jacob, yes, I do journal every day, but I don't use a tool or anything. I just use OneNote.
There we go. We got Muhammad Jamali. Want to know a clear explanation of these Avinci levels? Yeah, so there's multiple videos within BBT. There's the short videos on the levels and the strategies and all that. Those are like what, 10, 15-minute videos. You can get that for the basic subscription. The others are I'll put my link in here where we have webinar recordings, webinars I've done, which are now in total about 10 hours worth of material. Um, where I go into tremendous detail into all this. I mean, you have 10 hours of it, right? And that's available for free. It's in Trading Terminal. All you need is an email address and you can access Trading Terminal. And I'll put the link in here. And within this link I put here, you'll see that there's a section with all the webinar recordings. There you go. So plenty of opportunity. Oh crap, hold on. What are you making me talk? My spies hit the target. I gotta get out of here. Okay, there we go. 150 contracts on taking out 140. Whoa, that was big. Okay. Yeah. All right. That was good. Spy hit the
Nice.
previous support, got that target. I got two contracts actually open on the spy, two different ones. Okay, let's get out of one of them is basically worthless. There we go. Okay, there we go. And further pop down. I'm still holding more. Gosh, everything moves when it goes together. Think about trading the Mag 7 when everything goes, when things go, it goes all together. And so like the whole screen pops up to me suddenly. Like, whoa, stop. And it's a big screen. It's like 55-inch and everything goes red. Like I need sunglasses here. Wow, look at this move on the spy. You guys catching this?
That is
There we go.
insane.
Oh man, I should have added on meta a moment ago. Damn thing. Anyways, it's good. It's very nicely green now. Oh, still got a bit to go. It's just going through the money. On meta, I've got okay. Hold on. First on spy. Spy's got a long way to go. I've de-risked the positions. They're all at break even. I've got two contracts open, two different contracts, but they're extremely valuable. Okay, meta is the more dangerous one. So I'm gonna pay attention to that because if 595 is my strike price, it's just approaching that. As it blows through it, then I gotta pay attention to it because then the gamma and all that happens. The contract accelerates in value. Targets down here below 594. Whoa. Uh, yeah, these are pretty fun positions. Cool. Good. Let it pull back. A pullback would be healthy. A little consolidation. Catch your breath and go again. Meanwhile, we have Tesla doing the breakout as well. If anyone's interested in that. Apple hit a level just now. We have AMD super weak. Whoa, everything, just everything. Google was a good one. Shit. I didn't look at Google. There's a lot of opportunity, guys. Can't catch everything, but you can catch just a few. That's enough. It's
Oh yeah.
plenty.
So Carlos
Plenty.
was short Tesla.
Hello, so nice.
Yeah, I'm sure Tesla. I am just took a partial hit the low the day I'm in from about the VWAP. So it took a while,
Wow.
man. It's been just going sideways, 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 but finally we got something good here.
Nice.
Nice,
Nice.
nice, Carlos. Very nice.
Great work holding it. Watching it and not doing something about it is hard. So
It is very difficult. I was almost jumped out of this trade a couple of times already. I'm like, ah, you know what? Let's see what happens. You know, and it helps you guys come on because I could just stay here and hear you guys. At least I'm not bored. But if I don't have nothing to do, man, I would have been out of this trade and gone to do something else already. So thank you for helping me hold.
You're welcome.
We didn't do anything, Carlos, but yeah, you're welcome.
We'll all hold
But
it to.
I remember, like, I think I go back very far with Carlos. I think we were one of the initial few ones in New York. We were sitting together, uh, fairly new to our trading journey, and there are few
Yes.
times. Usually, Carlos is very like calm and uh doesn't like he's not something that okay, I made this much and I made this much. One day he was like sharing his screen or something, and he held one. I don't remember the stock, but he held that stock for the entire day. And that stock, and he was up maybe like 5 or 10 grand or something. I don't really remember exactly, but and back it was like 5 6 years ago. Uh, and he was I don't know what that stock was, Carlos, but that
I
you held
think
it,
that
and I was
was
like
a
very
low flow
shocked.
stock, man. It was a low flow stock that ran a lot. And I think the next day that
Yeah.
stock like even went further. Like I would have made such a boatload of money. But yeah, it was one of my best days ever, man. Um,
That was like, and I was very, very like shocked how amazing of a trader you are, just the way your patience was. Like, I suck at my patience, man. So,
nah,
but you were holding
you
that
guys are good.
stock uh for all day and the next day, and man, yeah, of course you made a lot of money. So,
Yeah, yeah.
great job, man. Always pleasure seeing you.
Thanks, man. Same here. Yeah, we go back, brother. We go back. We were both started 2017, 2018
Yeah,
was when we met.
yeah,
Yeah, we go
yeah.
quite ways. All right, I'll let you guys do it.
Brilliant. I love that. Stories like that are great. Yeah. In a lot of the big trading books, or not books, but what do you call it? Biographies of big traders in history, a lot of them that I've read, the common theme seems to be the majority of the money is made when you're doing nothing. So either you're holding overnight, which is you're sleeping, you're doing nothing, or you're in a trade and you're doing nothing, or you're not in a trade and you're waiting, you're doing nothing. Because 95% of this business is doing nothing. Just sitting there and with your hands in your pockets, waiting for the time to enter or to exit. But if you're nonstop in it, well, you can drive yourself nuts. That's one thing. But at least the biggest traders in history, Jesse Livermore, all of them, they kind of talk about that concept quite a bit. Um, in my experience so far as well, that seems to be the way to do it. But anyways, everyone's got their style. So some things to think about. History is very telling as well. And we have Carlos sitting in New York and freaking out because he's sitting on the couch and not doing nothing about a big position. So much fun. Oh yeah, he dozed off for a few hours. There you go, Brandon. You were there. Fun. All right, I scaled out of meta. It went through my strike and found support further lower, so I scaled out near the bottom there. I'm looking for an opportunity to perhaps add some back, but as far as I'm concerned, the trade's pretty much over. So that was good. The SPY, I'm going for the secondary target now. Um, where is it?
What is the secondary target? The five.
552. That's another area of support that was the low of a couple of days ago. And then the measured move is further down, 550, 150. On the SPY, I'm very careful with these daily levels, the serious levels of support resistance more than the measured moves because the SPY is so crazy. It's just hard to trade. But I like trading it. You get zero DTE options every day, which is basically extreme volatility. If the market's not volatile, I'll create my own volatility. Go zero DTE, go severely out of the money, and just crazy stuff like that.
Oh wow,
Oh, see,
something popped up. What
that's
happened?
it. That's why you exit. There you go. That's why you get out of these things when you can. Ooh, okay. SPY. I'm out of meta. Good. Got the trade done. That was profitable. And SPY, in it. What's going on? Yeah, I'm still in it. It didn't stop me yet on both
Which one?
contracts.
The spy?
Yeah, SPY's in. On Meta, I had moved my stop in very tight, so no big deal.
Yeah.
SPY, let's see where it wants to go.
Yeah, this
Nice.
is where it gets very tricky, right? You don't know when the volume is gonna come in. You
Yep.
don't know what news triggers or what algorithms are gonna just,
Mhm.
and that's why risk management is so important. You could be like your thesis and everything could be right so perfectly, but you still can lose money on it because you don't know, and that's the
Yeah,
volatility that's driving the price.
exactly. You don't really know. So put your risk management in place. I'm out of all these positions. They basically hit my stops anyway. So, and the stops were well past break even or beyond break even, better than break even. So there you go. All done. SPY short, meta short, everything worked. And for now, we'll see. Some volume, some buyers. Someone's excited.
So okay, something positive.
Ooh,
Very nice.
yeah, something's happening.
Yeah,
Ooh, let's find a long somewhere here, huh? Let's look around. What's there? Here's another reversal on Tesla. This is for you, Paris.
nah, I'm done, bro. I am not gonna trade anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. Is there
Yeah.
news or what happened here? Is this something? This is unusual. Looks like news. Massive activity. Anyways, good. Cool. I'm gonna question your Matthew. You think this is a weird question? There are no weird questions. Well, maybe there are. Hope you up on SPY 555.24. Um, initial touch was 955. How would you confirm it will bounce at that 11 at 1107? Oh, okay, yeah. Where's the level? You got it here. You're looking at 955. So right around this time frame, it bounced off of that area. You came back to it the next time, and you want to know if it's going to bounce again just after 11 o'clock. Well, that's where watching the price action is important. So over here, what it did is it got there and it just started chopping around there. If it was truly going to bounce, if there were big buyers truly waiting there to buy it there and then go up, I mean, those are the big ones, right? With massive limit orders just waiting there. If they were there, it would have pushed off right away and then come back and maybe do a double bottom with the second bottom higher than the first. That's a reversal. That's telling you, okay, these buyers are serious and they're stepping up. At least on candlesticks, you can do it that way. There's many other ways to read the price action. You have the tape and all, but on candlesticks, that's a pretty straightforward way. So here, as soon as it got to the level again, it didn't start bouncing off. Actually went through the area and started consolidating. It just got choppy and messy. So it's bearish, and then it got choppy. Is that telling you to go long over there? Definitely not. Definitely not. If anything, it's telling you to go short. It actually was holding down quite nicely, firmly. So I took the short in that area, and that was it. So again, price action is the first thing. It's not that just because that level was support previously that you guarantee that it's support again. And that's what levels are, right? That's what breakouts are. They break out through levels, right? They turn support into resistance and vice versa. That's very common. That's how you trade breakouts, basically. But again, watching real-time price action, that's the key. Very first most important thing. And here we go. Look at that. Anyone catch this rejection on the SPY right now? Shit. It's not in a place I can catch, but anyways, I had two trades on it all the way down. I might be done as well for the day. Depends on how energetic I am. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, that's right. Brendan got a comment. We're definitely going to be making more stories in Vancouver this year in about a
Man,
week.
yeah. I would miss the Whistler trip, but I would be there.
Yeah, damn
Uh,
shame. But yeah, Vancouver will be fun either way. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver is a beautiful city, beautiful location. The place where the event is happening is a perfect downtown Vancouver. You can walk to the Stanley Park right there. Last time I did an electric bike and just went through the entire. It's a big park. And the beauty is, if you want a beach, you want to sit beside the beach, you can sit beside the beach. If you want to be like a sit beside like kind of a greenery kind of a thing, then you can sit around that area. And then the entire circle of that Stanley Park is like uh it takes like with that bike, it took me like 1.5 hours, even on a bike. So I would highly recommend people who are traveling. That Stanley Park is beautiful, and I think this is gonna be the time of the year where it's prettier.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
Vancouver's just pretty nice place
yeah,
anyway.
Vancouver is a beautiful city. And of
Yeah.
course, there's gonna be full of, learning. And these are, I think initially uh what do you call? I did not value the impact these conferences and meeting people until I got exposed to it. I always thought sitting in a house and in a room and learning through the videos, books, and all of that would help me. But the impact and when you meet people who are in the same business as you are, and then who might be ahead of you, might be behind you, the number of questions, the interactions, the learning that comes out of it, because you're dedicating those 3 days in a very focused environment. It's all about trading. And it's the same behavior when you are trying to be spiritual or sit doing a meditation at home versus going to a spiritual place and doing a meditation there. What is going to be much more impactful? It's where people around you are thinking the same thing. People around you are in the same business. People around you are showcasing the wins and the loses and everything on what the journey entails. And these conferences uh, are very, very important as a part of the career. And in the past, I would miss them, and I would not prioritize them. But over the years, the more and more I am getting, uh, you know, uh, as a business and in trading, I am prioritizing these conferences, not just these conferences as in like uh, the BBT conferences, the money show conferences, the BB any conference that comes by, which is very helpful in terms of the financial market, getting exposure, getting a different exposure, very important. And I think has add a lot of value into my career personally. So, and of course, we'd
Yeah.
love to have you and see you guys there. Want to meet you because we see a lot of people like Sid Siddiqui, Matthew, Ripple. Uh, it's amazing when we have face to a name that we are talking to.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said for sure. For me as well, it's been a big catalyst in my trading when I started really attending these. And
Man, you are the inspiration. Forget about any. So for anybody who wants to learn about how important that is, learn from Avi. Avi is that guy who travels from Dubai like 16, maybe 20-hour flight or something, 24-hour flight, and he comes every single year. This is the dedication or discipline or whatever you want to call it. He is there, and he was there even before he was a moderator or he was a part of BBT. He was joining as an attendee, not as a presenter. Now his transition has happened as a presenter, but he was joining back in the past years as an attendee. So, and and coming from Dubai, and that's a commitment. I personally wouldn't be able to do it. Like I wouldn't wanna, but that inspires me to that extent that he's traveling for those 3 days to attend that conference and see how much of a value it is in terms of learning as well as getting exposure in the world of trading.
yeah, thanks. And it's worth it. It's totally awesome. I gotta say, guys, like seriously, you're in North America, it's no big deal. You're right there anyway. So make the trip. And as you know, we learn a lot from each other's just interacting, just all the side conversations. And this is outside of even just the presentations, which on by themselves are something amazing. So there's plenty of fun to be had. And then we're going to Whistler after that for some skiing. So what else you want, man? It's worth it. It's worth the trip. Make it happen, guys. Seriously fun. Yes, T-Man, we'll rent Harleys and ride around Canada. We'll do that. I'd be happy to do that. Oh yeah. Always a good time. What happened to the SPY here? I keep watching this thing drop and pop and drop and pop. I'm trying to think, is there a short here somewhere? But not right
Yeah,
now.
in this current market, every pop is there to drop. That
Yeah.
that's it. Every pop is just doesn't have any continuation and it's just dropping.
Yep, everything. And Apple again now is incredible. Looking at it on a 30-minute perspective, it had the consolidation in the pre-market has just been weak. If you're able to catch one of these levels, and recently just had another level, 213.30. Man, look at that. Right at the top there, that would have been a reversal, huh? Just hang on to that one. Even in the last 3-4 minutes, if you're able to identify this one with the wick in it, it's going down for the next level. You know what? I'm gonna trade a long reversal later in about 2 hours. How about that? I bet something's gonna give later. Yeah, be fun. Oh man, fun. Yeah, guys, webinar next Thursday again. Just a quick reminder. On Thursday, I'll be doing a webinar. That'll be the last one before heading off to Vancouver on the 20th of March at 12:30 Eastern. So 30 minutes after this session ends on YouTube. Come and have a chat in there. We'll have some fun. We'll get into all of this activity. Can answer questions and all this. Oof, Apple. Look at that. Low of day break even just happened if you guys like that. Wow. Meta still sticking to where it was. It got the trade and then it went back to where it came from. Let's see. Oh, awesome.
SPY is selling off, making you lose too.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have to exit the SPY. I would have actually not hit my stop if I just let it be with the wick and everything, but it was looking bullish. I was like, that's enough of that.
Yeah, you just never know, right? It's like it
Yeah.
could be just be a bounce. From a technical standpoint, it was a perfect retest of the breakout area. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Impressed.
you can just trust it because that candle, if you just look at the SPY 5-minute candle, it came out like the volume contributed to that bullish candle. So I wouldn't even short it either at that area.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, there it goes. Now it's smashed into the target.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to trust. You can see on my chart here, the entry was way earlier. This was the entry on the trade, so I had plenty of room on it.
Yeah.
But the activity was yeah, dangerous. Now we have 552 and 551.50 are levels, which could hold up. That's the most recent, most significant support, basically 2 days ago, and it's a measured move area. Whoa, Apple again. Anyone catch Apple? That looks like the cleanest move in the last 15 minutes. Somebody catch that. Keep looking at it and I can't catch it. Anyways, lots of fun here.
Wow, Apple selling off again.
Yeah. And I like the look of Tesla as well for a short. I don't think the setup's here, but it's looking like it could set up, break the lows and continue. There's nothing telling me that it's this is the bottom here. On the 30-minute, it's just a big reverse ABCD pattern, go for 230. So let's see where you can find your seller and then enter this position. You know that the buyer is pretty big right there, but it made a lower low. So bearish all around.
Even Trump buying a Tesla and Elon Musk coming out and everybody buying a Tesla is not helping Tesla. So that's man, I am so heavy on Tesla on my long term. I'm pretty down on Tesla on a long term, but
Yeah. Well, it's long term, so the short term moves are irrelevant in that perspective.
Yeah, I was very profitable. My average was around 260, entire average of my long-term portfolio. And when it was like around 450 or something, I was like, that's like heck of a win.
That's
And,
double.
and who would have thought? Now it's
Yeah.
back below 60. And I'm
Oh,
adding more actually. I'm actually, I told you about the 200 puts that I've sold, right?
man.
So
Yep. Nice. All right. All right. Keep it going.
yeah, if
Historic.
Tesla goes bankrupt, I go bankrupt. I, it's uh, it's not even
Oh,
like I'm
shit.
laughing about it, but I'm also in a panic state.
Let's figure out that algo trading stuff, huh? We'll be all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, wow. Meta smacked into it right now. Man, look at Meta. What a tricky one, huh? That was my entry around 1120. Got some partials near the bottom and had to take the exit, otherwise it would have been too risky, and now it got to the target. But that's very normal. It often goes and gets you and then goes to your target. That's something to get used to when you're day trading. So it's still a very profitable trade. Can't complain. SPY.
So one of the questions from Temu Kano, uh, chances of SPY reversing. I think let's review it together. Let's see what are the chances, what are the ways that you want to see for a change in character of a SPY. Or let me see if Carlos can bring in my screen. And let's, yes,
Well,
thank you, Carlos. So let's look at this, right? The stock, it was an opening range right here at the open, and then it broke out right here and then continued to sell off. Now it came back up again, tested the same level, 558.50, now sold off, pulled back, same area that broke out from, then sold off, pulled back, similar to the area that it broke out from, then sold off, then pulled back, same to the area at the breakout from. So currently now it's again making a breakout, right? Maybe if this area could be a bounce, which is trying to hold and bounce from here, but the trend is still intact on the downside. So if you want to take a reversal, you can maybe think of scalping to the upside, but the risk reward or the character of the entire market has not changed yet. So once it bounces up right here, and then maybe tries to hold here around this 554, this area, that's when you would be thinking about the character of a stock changing and if it's stepping up. Like usually you want to see like this continues to be stepping down, this stepping down, stepping down, stepping down. But if it is starts to step up, then you can think about the character of a stock or the index is changing and look for that continuation on the upside. Here, trying to catch, you can capture it, but the probability of you catching it, you're trying to go against the trend. You're trying to capture the bottom of it, which is a very low probability trade. You have to wait for the character to change for it to trade on the continuation side. But the character of an index or the price action has not changed yet. And if you see some very good capitulation happening or something that gives you certain indication of a bounce, until that happens, you gotta wait. And that's where the patience is. Like you always think that this could be a bottom. You always think this could have been a bottom. 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 Anything could have been a bottom, right? But unless what has proven to you in terms of the price action that you can get a confirmation that okay, that was proven as a bottom. I should, like, for example, in this case, if this was bounce right here and that hold right here at this area, this is the area where if it starts holding at these higher levels, then I would have thought, okay, now the bottom is made. Now the stock can go to VWAP and then hold and go higher. But it never happened. It continued to make lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower, and maybe it bounces a little bit here, then again makes a lower low, and then makes a new low again. So it has not confirmed yet, and that's why a lot of people get chopped around, because they are trying to find a bottom right here, and they try to capture a single, like a little bit of move, and then get stopped out later in the day. And so you want to understand when this character of a market is changing, or character of index is changing. So yeah, hope that helps. I think we are up on top of the hour, Avi. So let's wrap it up. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys tomorrow back in YouTube. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Paris. Thanks, everyone on YouTube. You'll have a great time. Fun as always. Talk to you tomorrow, guys. See you.